hard shade at streaming, dude. Like, it's not even fucking, like, subtle. It's like,
it's
fuck you, phones.
Kind of by this point, they really want people back in theaters. But with my bias, I'm like, no, I'm good. I want streaming to win.
I don't know. Going back to
I like my theaters, man.
Theaters are pretty fucking dope. Not gonna lie. The price is a little high, but fuck it. That's what
local theaters. I would advocate for that. Fuck AMC. Like that's where my bias kicks in the most because I don't want to spend like $45 on tickets before even concessions. Like fuck that.
They opened a new Cinemark next to my house, and so I watched Venom last week, and then I watched
it's like we were talking about
what is the fucking movie called? Halloween Kills. I watched.
Yeah, you're the motherfucker that saw it.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the fuck it's called.
Well, it's like Doc was saying last week.
I keep wanting to call it Halloween May Cry.
It's like
I don't know why.
Well, it's like as Doc was saying last week that me and him went to like Cinemark and paid like $5 to watch either something like Central Intelligence or like Batman versus Superman. Like if matinees were still a thing, or at least for the Phoenix area, they're kind of not unless you drive like 45 miles in any direction.
What the fuck is a matinee?
Matinee is I don't remember the specific term, isn't it? Basically,
it's the morning showing. Because matin is French for morning,
okay.
So it's usually the morning of the first showing of something.
Oh, I always thought that it meant like cheap-ass movie theater, because that's normally how we refer to it.
Okay, it comes from like the theater days. So the matinee would be the cheaper showing that they would do in the morning. It's almost like it's not quite a rehearsal, it's an actual production of the show, but it's the one they're getting out of the way, and it's for the cheap audience before the actual show, which would be in the evening, where everybody dresses up nice and all the rich people are coming out.
Oh, okay, because that's how I saw the Simpsons movie as well. And it was a matinee that honestly looked like a Greek theater. There were like marble pillars and shit. It's like, all right, here's your.
I mean, it's still happening in the same building. It's usually just cheaper because it's not the main showing in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
But meanwhile, we had literally Scooby and the gang up here at our fucking theater, which was pretty hilarious. There's these kids. One was dressed up in a green shirt, brown pants. Another was dressed up in an orange fucking sweater with an orange skirt. And another was literally just fucking wearing a furry suit of Scooby. And I was like, hey!
I feel like if I ever... Because Scooby's a Great Dane, isn't he?
Yeah, but I don't know. But he was just this chick was just wearing a fucking Scooby suit.
Well, the joke is going to... Well, not even a joke. Because like, if I ever did get a Great Dane, I would have to resist calling it Scooby. Getting the blue collar and then the S.
But yeah, with that, are we live?
Yeah, we've been live for a good like few minutes now.
So howdy, everybody. We, as a group, watched 2 classic horror movies, and then I made the mistake of going to a theater and watching a classic horror movie franchise get utterly destroyed. Now, granted, I have no context, literally none, of any of the other Halloween movies besides Busta Rhymes saying "trick or treat, motherfucker." Cue clip now. But
now, hold on. On that little quick note, as opposed to Ninja, you've seen pretty much all of them, right? Or a few of them, at least?
See. Yes.
All of them?
Yeah, probably.
I think of the only one...
I'm a movie garbage disposal, man.
The only movie...
not healthy.
The only Halloween movie...
Going back to theaters.
The only Halloween movie I've seen was Season of the Witch, and everybody keeps telling me that's the absolute shit one.
I'm pretty sure that's the one that introduces the druid shit.
I'm pretty sure
that's the one where I think that's the funniest one.
That's
the one I've seen more than once.
That's the one with
list, bud.
See, Halloween 2: Season of the Witch. It's the only one that doesn't feature Michael Myers.
Yeah, it's the silver shamrock with the masks and
that's
that really annoying jingle that gets in your head and never leaves.
Silver shamrock.
Don't.
And then like the mask would like fucking murder the shit out of you.
Really?
Yeah. It was literally the premise of the movie is that really expensive Halloween masks are so in demand that you can use them to commit basically genocide.
Oh, it was Halloween 3, by the way. So yeah.
Oh, it was Halloween 3? Okay.
Halloween 3 is Season of the Witch.
Okay, so that makes...
John Carpenter or Deborah Hill. So I'm curious if there's a difference.
So it was the fact that we were... So it was the fact we were 3 movies in and we just decided, and like Hollywood just decided, you know what, we don't need a Halloween movie without Michael Myers, which sounds really fucking weird 3 movies in.
Which is why the 4th one is called Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
Is he Halloween 4? Please, for the love of God, come see this one. We've got him back, we promise.
Halloween 4, we're fucking sorry. We didn't mean to do it.
Halloween 4, we thought the idea didn't work.
Yeah. So I took notes because we were in the back of the theater, and I specifically asked for the corner seat, and I wasn't an asshole about it. I turned my brightness all the way down, and I made sure to put my phone all the way to the wall whenever I took my notes. But I did take notes. So where are they at? All right. At the very beginning of this is gonna be weird talking about it while you guys haven't seen it, but and once again, this is weird for me talking about it because I haven't seen any of them. But this one takes place immediately.
Are we live?
We've been live for like almost 6 minutes now.
Oh shit!
So the very beginning of the movie apparently takes place seconds after the last movie. So much to my fucking unfortunate confusion there, it's. There's this weird thing where like this guy calls his friend, and for some reason, the guy's voicemail turns on his phone, and the only reason we know that is so we could see the phone in his pocket getting the voicemail as the guy is like impaled on a fence or whatever. Because Michael, look at him go. And then after that, we immediately get a flashback, which, once again, I'm really curious if this has anything to do with the actual fucking, like, movie franchise, or if this was, like, a retcon thing for this movie. But apparently there was, like, this cop guy who was chasing Michael Myers, and, like, there was, like, 4 or 5 cops running around after him. They wind up going back to the guy's house. There's exposition, by the way, every fucking couple seconds, by the way. It's like, oh, I knew Michael Myers. He was at this fucking house when it was 1978. Blah, 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 and he always did blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, it's like, okay. Like, this is literally for people who haven't fucking seen it, but, like, it's so fucking forced. They wind up going inside this house. Now, it's 2 cops armed with flashlights and
so is this going to be spoiler free?
Oh fuck! I guess so.
No, I would say just go full spoilers because that would make that funnier.
Well, because this is still the opening scene, so it's not too bad. But like, I guess we will.
No, I just meant generally for the audience because
for the audience, like fucking go see, if you're a fucking fan of the Halloween movies. I'm sorry, but theaters are still cool, and you get a good fun experience if you go with a couple friends. Go watch it. There's a point where the guy who apparently knows Michael Myers, he says this thing where he's like, he's always staring at his sister's window and is always staring out at it, and they go inside and they split up because why the fuck wouldn't they? And the cop who knows the Michael Myers story like walks over to where Michael Myers stands. He's staring out the window for a good hot minute, doesn't look to his right because there's a room right there where Michael Myers is clearly going to jump out of you from. He like looks down, notices that Michael Myers was recently standing there because there's like a spot in the dust, and then Michael Myers pops out and grabs him and then starts choking him. Probably one of the funniest fucking moments I've ever seen. So he's choking him with a piece of rope. He's not like, he doesn't have a fucking knife or anything. The other cop runs in and goes, freeze, let him go, blah, blah, blah. And like, Michael Myers doesn't have a knife or anything. He's got both hands on this cop's like neck with a piece of rope. So what this cop does is he decides to shoot from a room distance away instead of trying to get closer. He winds up shooting the cop in the fucking throat. Like,
what?
What? Yeah. And then Michael drops the cop that he's choking, and like this is what my fucking notes said. Mike said, "Fuck it, I'm MVC Nemesis," and walked out. He literally just fucking about faces and walks out the room that he like walked in through, like no giving a fuck. The other cop starts chasing him.
Hold on, is he being shot while doing this? Because that would be even. So they're wait. I'm walking away here.
There's a point where he like literally rounds a corner, then starts going down the stairs. The cop literally reaches over the balcony, shoots, and it like even though he's like aiming at Michael's general direction, it somehow hits the wall next to him. There's a lot of stupid shit with guns in this fucking movie, which is destructive.
Oh yeah, I saw the clip of the person in like I think it's a nurse outfit with a desert eagle.
Dude, okay, so I'll get to that in a minute. However, the fucking Michael Myers walks out. He just I guess technically it was the cop's fault, but he just killed a cop. There's literally 30 police officers in the fucking field, and a doctor runs in and talks to the cop who's still alive and goes, "Did he kill again? Did he kill?" And then it fucking fades to like normal times, and it's like,
what?
Wait, hang on. I was kind of with you in the sequence of events so far, even the stupid ones. So I was like, has he killed again? Has he killed again? And then it's just hard cut. Now we're in the future.
Now we're back to modern time. Even though there was 30 cops drawn on him, he killed a cop. He killed 3 fucking people, and he's just standing there. And like later it cuts to like what actually happens, and it shows fucking like the cop like hit him in the back of the knee, and then they arrest him. It's like, bro.
Okay, so they got him.
They did get him, but fucking 16 movies happened. And sorry, yeah, they specifically say 40 years. Every chance they could say it, it's like, oh, Michaels has been killing for 40 years.
Oh, did you know, by the way? Evil dies tonight.
Evil dies tonight. We're gonna get to that because that is my biggest point. This fucking movie. Like, there's some fucking bullshit that happens for 10 straight minutes, and it's like, boy, it's some political commentary.
Wait, what?
So yeah, we're gonna get there. There's actually a genuine like nice thing I said. Like the credits were actually pretty cool because it was like old schooly, where it showed the actor and then. Like, it showed the actor's name and then who they were playing, which I thought was pretty, like, old schooly, and it was like, that's kind of cute.
That's
just minor fucking point.
Hold on.
But then I saw Danny McBride's fucking name as one of the writers, and I was like, has he written anything?
Apparently.
What he wrote was
great start.
What he wrote was huge ass titties as he fucking sets off some explosions.
Big ass titties. Well, like I said, he seems like he could probably be a good actor, and I find him funny in like what he plays. Maybe he could be a writer, but like this ain't it, Chief. Yeah, there's some weird shit where like these. So the nurse that Wyatt mentioned, the nurse is with her boyfriend, and like they're both, one's dressed up as a nurse, one's dressed up as a doctor, despite the guy being a nurse and the actual chick being a doctor until Halloween. There's this weird moment where like these people are like they're watching a talent show, but they're at a bar, and these people are talking behind them because they're at a bar, and like they get like really upset and shit like that. And I was just like, at first I thought it was gonna be something, and I like wrote it down, but like it actually turns out to be nothing. But it's just a really awkward scene. Let's see, blah 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 blah. Okay, so what's the kid's name? I mean, I want to actually look this up. There's they're having a talent show, and there's they're all having a good time, and they're at a bar. They're all fucking good time. It's Halloween. Fuck it, we're having fun. There's a moment where this guy gets up, and I don't know who he is because I didn't watch any of the things. Frank Hawkins, Sheriff's Deputy Stab, blah, blah, blah. Tommy Doyle. Does that name mean anything to any of you?
Oh, I thought you said said Tommy Jarvis. I was about to be like, that's Friday the 13th.
Yeah. So apparently this was one of the kids that Laurie babysat when he was younger. So he was like there, which this is so weird because I really do want to see all these movies because like, are they actually all in the same universe? They'd have to be, right?
But and then you have the weird Halloween mask incident with bugs and a giant rock that was magic and evil.
Yeah.
Is that in the same universe as well?
I love how we keep asking Max these questions because even though this is the only one he's seen, like
I was just kind of posing it out there because if we're gonna ask if these are in the same universe, then we have to reckon that even the stuff that has nothing to do with Michael Myers is in the same universe.
Yeah, because I'm looking at
That's
this
just a
casting.
thing that happened in that world.
I'm looking at this casting right now. It says, so casting, Anthony Michael Hall as Tommy Doyle, Lindsay's friend and one of the children Laurie babysat in 1978. He was previously portrayed by Brian Andrews in 1978 original and Paul Rudd in Halloween Curse of Michael Myers in 1995. So this is still the same universe because it's the same character. Like, not just Michael Myers, but like Laurie and Tommy Doyle. But anyway, like he gets up to the stage and it seems like he's about to do like this fucking like comedy routine or whatever. Like he looks like he's about to do a stand-up thing, and and then he just starts bumming everybody about by reminding them that they'll, hey, by the way, on Halloween, Michael Myers killed that guy's wife, that guy's sister. Like he's pointing at people in the fucking audience going, and that guy's thing. He like points a fucking spotlight at these fucking trauma victims. It's like, I don't know if this is like a thing that you're doing, and this does rally people to his cause later, but like at the beginning it feels really fucking awkward. Like I wouldn't tell you this guy was going to be Braveheart. I would just say this guy's not reading the fucking room of this bar. But anyway, that's what happens later, but we're gonna get there. Okay, so the end of the last movie. The end of the last movie, what's her fucking name? Laurie? Laurie gets into like a fucking Home Alone fight with Michael Myers. I had this explained to me before we sat down to watch it, because apparently this takes place right after that. So what she does is she fights him, does all of her fucking shtick, she gets stabbed, but she traps Michael in her house and lights the house on fire. Pretty effective way to deal with a fucking monster, right? It's pretty logical.
That's pretty effective when fighting a normal person too.
It shows her in the back of like a shitty pickup truck, and they're obviously driving her to the hospital because she's got fucking stabbed in her fucking stomach. As she's driving to the hospital, they see like 2 fire trucks go by, and they're going to the house to put out the fire. So big no. She's yelling at the fire trucks to stop, blah blah blah. But they're fire trucks, and they're already half a mile down the fucking road, so they can't hear her. They get there. They start putting out the fire. Michael Myers, despite there's a flashback showing Michael Myers immediately getting lit on fire. Like the fire doesn't start in the house. The fire starts at Michael Myers, and the rest of the house erupts into flame. But fuck that. Michael Myers is somehow in like this garage area behind like a fucking sliding sheet door, and he gets out and he's borderline perfectly fine, and he murders one of the firefighters. He winds up walking out of the house very menacingly, and all the firefighters realize this is a fucking bad guy. We need to fucking deal with this guy. They got axes, they got fucking pipes. One of the guys pulls out a fucking like cement saw, which is they use to fucking cut doors open and shit. They're ready to fucking go to town. But the most effective person, the one holding the most effective weapon in this scenario, and I looked this up later, was the guy holding the fire hose. Now, as everybody knows, I have a bunch of friends, and I like to double check with other people because I don't want to make assumptions. So I asked one of my friends who's a firefighter, if somebody were to shoot you point blank with a fire hose, what would happen? He told me it would remove the skin or send you flying backwards. One of those two things is going to happen.
They use that for crowd control in like protests back in the day. So if you get hit with a fire hose, you're on your ass.
Max, I kind of want to show that picture. Did you censor that guy's name?
No. But I can fucking edit it real quick and then fucking send it.
Yeah, because I want to show the audience this conversation.
We're gonna show the audience what I sent. Give me a second to fucking edit it. So like I said, I asked this guy because I was fucking curious because why the fuck wouldn't I be? And like I said, just give me a second. I gotta fucking. All right, cool. Blah, 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 blah. All right. I sent that to Yarp. So I asked this guy, and you can see my exact phrasing, and yeah, he said it would remove your skin or knock you on your ass. And I said, oh, so if you shoot somebody point blank, it won't look like a sprinkler. And he's like, no. And then that's when he revealed he also saw Halloween, and he's like, that part was fucking stupid. Michael Myers gets blasted with a fire hose. They show one cut of the guy activate the fire hose, the nozzle, and blast him. And it cuts to Michael Myers, and I swear to God, it looks like if he was standing too close to a water slide. Like, it just barely... That's it. Like, and that's not even like a consistent blast. It's like a little pitter-patter of fucking water. So, immediately I'm fucking forced with a inconsistency of thing. Because if fucking Jamie Lee Curtis, as much as I love her and as great as she is, if she could fuck up Michael Myers with a baseball bat, a fucking fire hose would put Michael on his ass.
So to quote the conversation, just because now it's on screen. Hey, you said, hey, aren't you a fire person? So your friend said that he is, lol. So I may or may not have watched a very dumb movie, but out of curiosity, if point blank shot someone with a fire hose, what would happen? It'd take off skin. And you tell him the movie. And this person said that was his favorite part of the movie. Was that
he was fucking around. Because he's a firefighter. He fucking knows what the fuck would happen. And it's fucking dumb because it's fucking dumb.
Yeah, because
I actually texted that to my buddy Andrew, and I was like, "Receipts, motherfucker."
Yeah. Also, if you've ever seen like footage of like during like the civil rights protests, it would show people getting hit with fire hoses. Yeah, that's not a very pleasant experience. And the fact that Michael just walks it off is the most hilarious thing you told me about this film so far.
He just no-sells it, and of course he murders all the fucking firefighters in like extraordinary fashion. I feel like I blinked and missed it, but they wind up going. So he kills all the firefighters. They wind up investigating the scene of the crime, and I swear to God, like 2 of the firefighters look like they have fire in their bellies. So like they look like jack-o'-lanterns. I'm guessing that's the whole point of like them having that effect. But I just remember seeing that. I was like, Michael didn't like put a fire in their stomach. How the fuck are they like emitting light? But whatever, fucking movie's stupid, so who fucking cares? Firefighters. Okay, so he winds up going to another house, which ironically is next door to the nurse and the doctor's house, because they see it on the news later, and they're like, oh, it's right next door to our house. There's this old man and this old woman, and you know the old lady's playing with a drone, and it flies into a dark room, and then hey, look, it's Michael. The first thing they say, I gotta fucking rewatch it, but I'm pretty sure the first thing they say is he says to her, call the cops. Or she says to him, call the cops. But he starts walking over to the dark room. Now, they realize that somebody's in the room, and look, it's fucking Michael. So they lock the doors and lock all that shit, and like he starts running back, and I think he says, call the cops at that point. At this point, none of them call the cops, so they both get brutally murdered. Despite the old lady having about fucking 2 minutes of time before Michael fucking shoves a light bulb through her fucking throat. It's a pretty fucking gruesome kill, and yep, she died because she didn't call the cops. She didn't fucking do anything. She didn't try to run away. All that nice stuff.
On a scale of like 1 to 10, how stupid just is everybody?
Everybody's pretty fucking. Whoa! All right. Anyway,
like, are we from in big?
So hang on, let me get there because this is the next part of the notes. So they confirm that like the news like talks about it. The cops report to each other saying, "This is Michael. He's back. We need to get back up. We need to get on this shit right now." Really interesting. Really smart. I like that. I like the fact that they're trying to do something about it and they are aware of the situation. It's literally like an anti-trope thing of like, oh, these zombies, these walkers, they're dead, and why? Oh, he bit me on the neck. You know what I mean? Like if zombies happen like nowadays, we know what the fuck to do. Attack the head, fucking move on. Don't let them bite you. That's kind of what happens in the movie. Like so the news doesn't specifically say Michael. They compare it to Michael Myers' attacks, but everyone in the town immediately realizes it's Michael, which was really fucking interesting. They all band together and like they come together as like a community. And like, this shit can't let this happen. Evil dies tonight. And it's a really cool rallying cry of like all these people in the bar. And like the guy who gave the speech earlier, like he's like, yo, we're going to fuck him up. We're going to get him. And it's like, cool. I'm on board with these guys. Awesome. They wind up going to the hospital. Oh yeah, my note by the way is like, why isn't there? Because everybody gets a text message on their phone, and like the first thing I go is like, why the fuck isn't there a everybody grab shotgun? Michael Myers is back alert? But whatever, I'm too dumb because I think. Yeah, and then I wrote down. There's a good point about the movie. Everyone is saying jump Michael. So they all wind up fucking grouping up at the hospital. They eventually tell Laurie that she fucked up and failed, and Michael's still alive. You know. Much to her distress because, you know, she's kind of traumatized by this guy. They all get guns and they're like, we're gonna go kill Michael. And it's like, oh, cool. So the black couple and like the guy who was yelling at to like keep it down in the bar, they wind up all like, grouping up together and stuff like that. And they wind up getting in a car and they wind up driving to this fucking place. They see these kids. There's these 3 kids and there's this whole shitty scene. Like I don't want to spoil like one of like the shittiest subplots of the movie because I do want you guys to still see it.
I'm probably not going to see it. I'll be honest.
Same.
We're gonna watch it next year, buddy. So anyway, they find these kids. One of them was killed by Michael. The other kids are like, oh, and then when they see Michael actually coming to murder them, they all fucking run away and get freaked out. So they get away. One of the chicks who so they all pulled up in this like it's a playground. And the kids are swinging on the swings. One of the chicks gets out of the car and walks over to the kids and asks them, and then they all see Michael. Somehow Michael is directly behind the SUV that the other characters are in. All these characters have guns, by the way. I just want to point that out. They don't realize that Michael is behind the car until the camera notices that Michael's behind the car. That's when they go, oh, he's right behind us. And then he climbs on top of the roof of the car. And he starts smacking at them. He smacks an old lady. She tries to shoot at him because she's freaking out, and she winds up shooting the window out. And then Michael like basically cuts her head off like on the fucking like broken glass. Pretty fucked up. The black lady, she took the gun away from her husband because the husband's never touched the gun before. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. She did, so pretty cool on her. She winds up getting out of the car and like flopping onto the ground. Cool. She's like in range of Michael. Then Michael starts to go for the old lady. And the doctor guy pulls out his stethoscope and tries to choke the Michael out, which, cool. He's trying to fight, but he gets stabbed in the fucking eyeball and he's dead. Then it cuts to where the black chick is. She is about 6 car spaces away from the SUV, approaching it and starts shooting at it. I don't know how or why she teleported down the street, but she's just there now. And I immediately goes, where the fuck did she go? Why wasn't she helping her boyfriend? Oh, it's because she's down the street. She winds up walking towards Michael, shooting a Desert Eagle, which, as we know, can penetrate anything. She shoots 4 times, keeps approaching the car so she can get a better aim. Michael then kicks the door open. It hits her hand. The gun turns around, and she shoots herself in the fucking head. I'm not kidding. That's what happens.
Hang on. Now, if I'm not a gun expert, I live in a country that doesn't have very many of them, but doesn't the trigger usually get pulled backwards towards you?
Yeah.
So how the fuck did the fucking... So her hand was loose enough that being knocked by the door meant that like the gun completely got dislodged from her grip.
Yeah, the only
but her finger was still firm enough that the force of the door pushing between the gun and the finger was enough to compress the trigger and blow her brains out.
I want to remind you, she's one-arming a Desert Eagle, which Hollywood doesn't understand what the fuck guns are, but I want to express to the audience.
I know just from seeing them that they're big old chunky boys.
They're big, they're fat fucking guns. They're big. They're bulky. They're heavy. That's the thing. Nobody fucking tells you how heavy a gun is until you hold it. So she's one-arming a fucking Desert Eagle, no problem. Because this is the only way this would work, because she had both hands on the fucking gun. This wouldn't happen. But yes, she somehow magically, perfectly turns the gun around and one-shots herself, and she's dead. That's like... There's so much wrong with it. Anyway... That happens. I burst out into laughter. It got like everybody else in the theater to laugh. I was happy about that.
Sounds like everybody had a good old time, and
yeah, everybody had a good time.
It's a good movie.
Well, no, Metacritic and fucking all that shit are fucking tearing this movie apart for good reason. So yeah, the fucking
actually,
art.
That's the thing. What was the general audience reception? Was everyone just like, "Oh my god, this is so dumb"?
It was actually kind of funny you bring that up. We actually had a conversation with another couple that was in the movie, and we were all like laughing about how stupid it was. And they're like, "Oh yeah, it was pretty good at some parts, but yeah, there was some parts of stupid." You know what I mean? Like, I'm not putting these people up on the pedestal, but like, I did get like a general sense. Like, even normies were like, "This movie is pretty stupid." So it's like, You know what I mean? I wasn't like, oh, what did you objectively think? But I did be like, yo, wasn't it kind of funny when Michael teleported in these 3 sections? And it's like, oh yeah, that was really dumb.
Well, you know I mean? Well, that's kind of just a thing. Hasn't Michael always had teleportation powers?
Yeah, but that
despite being a normal person.
Me not seeing the movies.
Speaking of teleportation powers, we actually watched an interesting movie about demons that have teleportation powers.
Well, they use them
we
poorly
should talk
too.
about that.
We will in a sec, but I'm almost done. Because this is the main issue I had with the movie. So apparently in the last movie, there was a breakout of like a mental, like, health hospital bus or whatever. Basically, it's how Michael got out and he started doing all of his fucking business. However,
wait, he literally escapes from the short bus and that's his origin? Are you serious?
That's what's implied from this movie, and that's what I heard from my buddy. Like, I could be wrong, but it plays into a plot point of this movie because one of the other escape patients also broke out. Without seeing all the movies, Slur, can you describe Michael Myers to me?
Big motherfucker,
huge,
nondescript
right?
mask.
You would say huge, right? Like, you would easily say he
I mean, that's kind of one of the central things. Much like
everybody.
Leatherface, he's a big fucking dude.
Yeah, Ninja Wyatt, do you agree? He's a big dude, right?
Leatherface or Michael Myers?
No, Michael Myers.
No. Yeah, he's pretty big. He's pretty big. I don't know. I would guess around 6 foot. Yeah.
I would probably say 7 foot. He's pretty fucking big. Like, he towers over everybody in the movie.
Yeah, he's like 6'4" minimum. He's towering over full-grown adult men.
Yeah. There's a subplot where another person escapes the crazy bus, and some people think he's Michael Myers. This guy is 5'5", very short. Like, he is way smaller than everybody else in the movie. Like,
that's like thinking I'm LeBron fucking James. What the fuck?
Yes. Like, there's a point where like he like is next to one of the female leads. He's clearly like a head below her. You know what I mean? He's short. He's tiny. He's kind of fat, so he's like stocky, but he's short. He's tiny.
Hang on, is this actually me?
Maybe.
Am I in the movie?
Are you bald?
Did I make it?
You did not make it. All right. So everybody goes back to the hospital, and like the cops are like, "Okay, everybody, chill the fuck out," because like more and more people are starting to flood into the hospital because more and more injuries are happening, more and more Michael attacks. The guy who initially started all the things, he now starts getting people whipped into a frenzy, and it's interesting that Slayer brought it up that evil dies tonight, because at first I was on board with him. He was getting everybody in the hospital ready to go after Michael Myers, and the assumption was everyone knows what Michael Myers looks like. He is a huge person who wears a white mask. They wind up getting whipped up into a frenzy, trampling on people, pushing people out of the way. Almost like a very relevant historical event that happened earlier this year. I don't want to fucking say anything. But they wind up chasing this guy through the hospital who is clearly not Michael Myers. And no one can talk to them. Like, Laurie is screaming, "This isn't Michael." The other chick is screaming, "This isn't Michael." When Homeboy finally lays eyes on this guy, who's apparently he's already seen, he now finally realizes it's not Michael, but everybody's whipped up into a frenzy and everybody is peacefully protesting down this hospital. And they almost kill this guy, and this guy jumps out of a window and kills himself. I summarized that in about 2 minutes, or not even 2 minutes. This point takes place in about 10 minutes. It's this weird, slow motion, like, riot bad. These people are sheep. I'm pretty sure Laurie actually calls them sheep at one point. And, like, it's so weirdly placed that it feels like some really cheap fucking thing. I'm not trying to be like a fucking political guy and say like, "Oh yeah, it's all fucking woke culture," but it's like, this felt like it was specifically trying to say something, and it wasn't subtle about it, and it didn't.
What was it trying to say?
Riot
like, could
bad.
you actually discern a specific message of any kind from it, or was it just vague
riot
mob
bad.
mentality?
Riot bad.
I mean,
because like this guy, dude, like you said, he's literally standing on the fucking ledge of the hospital, and it's like there's like a solid 4 minutes of him like looking back in slow motion, and then like tearing down the doors to get to him, and like they all look fucking horrifying, they all look scary, and they're all roar. And I'm pretty sure like there's a fucking line towards the end of it where it's like Michael made us the monsters. And it's
oh
like,
my god, did they actually fucking say
hold
that
on.
word for word?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Holy
yes.
shit. But yeah, just the general mob mentality, mob justice is scary and bad. That's really not a modern thing. I think it just looks a little bit more sus because
of what happened recently. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm just saying. It's like, I don't know. Like I said, it feels like they're trying to say something really not subtle. That's the whole point. And then, yeah, the mob realizes.
But if you can't discern what it is they were even trying to say, then I don't know. It comes across like it might be a false positive.
But like I said,
like I've got nothing concrete to work from.
Yeah, like I said, I'll happily like watch this movie like next year when fucking we can actually appreciate it. But like, yeah, that was just. But it's like I said, it's also the time it took. It didn't need to be fucking 10 minutes long. Like it's a good chunk of the movie, and it's like in slow motion, and it's like the tragedy of being. Anyway, towards the end of the movie, they realize that Michael wants to go home, and there's this also weird thing where they're trying to make Michael this tragic figure, despite him being a fucking murderer. But yeah, they're like, oh, all he wants to do is go home. We should just leave him alone, blah blah blah. And they're like, no, fuck that, we're gonna do it. There's a fucking horrible shot of a fucking chick running at Michael with a shotgun, and for some reason it misses. I don't know why. But they wind up getting Michael Myers outside of the house. They put him on the street, and there's like 20 people with sticks, guns, fucking chains and shit. And they're like, we're going to fuck you up, Michael. And to the credit of the movie, they fuck him up. Like, it's not even
as they
like,
should.
It's like, yeah, it's like he's just a guy. Beat his ass down. And sure enough, they beat his ass down. And like, it would have been such a cool ending because it's like, yeah, and there's a moment where like Michael's like broken and bloodied on the ground. He's like trying to reach for his knife because like it's actually kind of a cool scene. Like it's not just a straight fight. Like he's like swiping at people trying to get him, but they wind up beating him down, and like he's like struggling to reach. Like you can see his like fingers are fucked up, and like somebody kicks his knife away, and they keep hitting him, but then they stop for some reason. And then they start to go after him again, and then suddenly Michael gets a second wind, and he's perfectly executing everybody with perfect neck swipes, grabbing people, countering them, cutting their hands, doing all sorts of crazy shit. He just gets up, and he's got perfect fucking health, and he just kills all of them. And and there's a shot of one of the main chicks in the house, and she's looking out the Michael door, and there's like 4 cop cars outside the house. They're all like a bunch of people there. And somehow Mike, despite being outside and across the street, getting his ass kicked and then killing everybody, teleports all the way up behind her. And admittedly, a jump scare that got me, but it was fucking stupid because he somehow teleported inside the house. And that's fucking Halloween Kills. It was trash. I can't wait to watch all the other movies.
Yeah, it's funny because we also watched something else that tried to make us weirdly sympathetic to the monster villain. Dracula.
Oh
yeah, we did. Were we going to include that one? Sure, I guess not.
I mean,
well, to be fair, so for this week, we actually so how we've been kind of planning this out, like very loosely, is that each of us kind of picked movies a little bit. I think it was Ninja who picked VHS 1 and 2. I picked Event Horizon and Pandorum. So we finally got to Slur's week. And it was originally supposed to be Hellraiser and Bram Stoker's Dracula, correct, Slur?
Yep. And then I swapped out Dracula because I watched it again just to see how it held up, whether it was worth the recommendation, all that, and it's got some problems. So I was like, okay, you know what? Just to kind of bump up the quality of my pairing, I'll swap that out with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But then it was rattling around in my head, and I was just like, I kind of regret swapping it out because even though it's got such massive problems and a lot of it doesn't make any fucking sense, it's so fucking entertaining and interesting that I wanted us to watch it anyway. So we just kind of, just outside of watching things for today, we just watched it anyway. And now it made me think of that again. Where it's like, yeah, and then they try to make you like weirdly sympathetic towards the villain. I'm like, they did a Dracula. Just because it's been on my mind.
to clarify for the audience, we're talking about the very, very original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Not the 1974. I think I've seen the newer one, or at least the remake of the original.
There's two reboots of the thing, isn't there?
I know there's a bunch of sequels. They redid the original, and then I think they did sequels for that one as well.
Weird.
There's a lot of Texas Chainsaw movies. And a lot of Hellraiser movies. I don't know why this keeps happening to horror franchises.
Was it one of the videos we were watching last week that brought up Hellraiser in space? I think it was talking about Event Horizon, and somebody.
I mean, that's where the meme comes from. All of these the horror franchises, because they run out of ideas, they'll just start doing the same things as everybody else. So you get Jason going to space, Hellraiser in space.
Yeah, and then somebody went like they did
the Leprechaun movies go to Vegas for some reason.
They did Hellraiser in space better than Hellraiser in space. I couldn't imagine. So what? Did somebody just take the box and go to the International Space Station? The Cenobites are really confused about gravity.
I don't know. I mean, we can watch it if you want to, but prepare for it to be awful.
So when we watched Hellraiser first, and then we watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Out of the two films, which did we prefer the most?
I'm going to go out on a limb, mostly for subjective-ish reasons. I actually prefer Hellraiser.
I'm kind of the same way. I prefer Hellraiser. Ninja, what about you?
Like, I think that Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like, it's more innovative, especially for its time. It does like a lot of very interesting things, and I think technically it holds up better. But I think Hellraiser is just more interesting. It's got more going on. Even though narratively it is a lot more flawed.
Yeah, I think Texas Chainsaw told a more coherent story and had characters that seemed vaguely human. But Hellraiser definitely had better effects and more interesting lore. I like that they left a lot of it kind of vague for the first film. I'm sure they're going to ruin that.
Oh, they did.
9 films, but, you know.
Are we on
the subsequent 10 films in next year?
We're on Hellraiser.
Did I miss the whole Dracula discussion?
Yeah,
oh, there wasn't really one. We just kind of explained. It's like that was an extra thing we watched. We didn't really go into it. Yeah, I mean, we can if you guys want, but I mean,
I feel like if we do, we should do it later.
Anthony Hopkins is pretty good. And
I probably at the end of this will show the meme you made, Slayer, but like
I mean, out of context, it means nothing. But go ahead. I think the big takeaway was just watching Gary Oldman acting fucking circles around Keanu Reeves, who was just not ready for that role.
Yeah, both Gary Oldman and Sir Anthony Hopkins were just chewing the fucking scenery, and then you have Keanu. I know where the bastard sleeps.
Raging Inferno.
Blue
Inferno.
Like
the heaviest, like mocking almost British accent.
And the funny thing is, they had Americans in the movie. They should have just had him have an American accent.
No, he was from London. He's like, no, you have to do it, and you have to do it like you're in Shakespearean theatre. But it was like someone who had only ever heard English accents from cartoons made in America, even though he had Gary fucking Oldman right opposite him, who could have coached him.
Well, by that point,
Anthony Scottish, right?
Hold on. Didn't by that point
Gary
Oldman? Well, didn't by that point he forgot his English accent because after
not
a certain
at that point. I think like, this is quite early in his career, but I think by the 2010-ish, when people knew him for Batman stuff, and he was in interviews for that, I think that's when people picked up that he sounded American.
Yeah, because at a certain point, I think it was on Graham Norton, he just admitted, like, I forgot my accent because I was doing American movies for so long.
That can happen.
Yeah, the language. Yeah, he had to have a language coach to teach him like British again.
Imagine he was doing nothing but Romanian movies, and he just sounded like Dracula forever. Because Dracula's accent in this movie is fucking priceless.
Oh, it's amazing. Also, Dracula has simultaneously the worst drip ever / the greatest drip ever. Homie was rocking double D titties on his head as his hairpiece or whatever, but then straight up looked like later in the movie looked like fucking Johnny Depp on like his best day.
He had that Gucci.
And you know what? That fucking the dressing gown that trails 3 rooms behind where you currently are. It's pretty fucking drippy. Come on.
I don't know.
It's like,
I don't
look
know.
how big my house has to be to fit my clothes.
It's drip in the sense that he's gonna clean up any fucking spills behind him, I guess you could say.
He has a
I
walking
bought this
napkin.
robe in IKEA, so I do not have to buy a broom for my rooms.
He's multitasking, yeah?
Very efficient.
You will not understand what it's like being a count and a janitor. The blood flows through these veins.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, I love how we're just like, we'll talk about it at the end, and we just immediately start talking about it fucking now.
It's something we talked about.
Oh yeah, no,
It's interesting.
yeah, no, I get it.
I don't know if you mentioned it, but there was something that you had on your list, but you decided to take it off. But you really wanted us to watch it anyway, and for the most part, I'm kind of glad you did.
I meant to. Fuck, goddamn. I immediately thought, like, the blood that throws through my veins. If I have offended you, I'm sorry. Just Keanu just not fucking trying.
Yeah, I think the way I described it in our chat was you're watching Gary Oldman giving you 100 while Keanu's giving you 0.1 the whole movie.
And it's weirdly correct. Like, fucking hell. The editing in that movie was also fucking atrocious. Jesus fucking Christ. There was moments where I had no idea where the fuck was going on.
Well, yeah, sometimes instead of a scene transition, they'll give you like a random shot of like night creatures doing things, and then they just cut to the next thing, and you don't quite get the connection, so you're just like,
no idea what's happening.
What
You're
the
like,
fuck is happening?
I guess that happened. Thanks for showing me that. Oh, also, weird fucking Matrix crossover. Monica Bellucci was one of Dracula's brides, and she winds up fucking and kissing Keanu Reeves. It was Neo. So Persephone kissed Neo before the Matrix 2.
It was very interesting. We had like a star-studded cast. We had Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Why do you keep saying the Sir?
Because I don't know
Isn't
why.
it a Sir? I thought it was a Sir. I say it too. Is that
No,
wrong?
he is knighted, but like you're not British. The Order of the British Empire means nothing to you.
It's just
Isn't it a respect thing?
Yeah, I was going to say I'm just being
Again,
respectful.
if you're British,
Somebody's not your king, but you can still call him king or prince or whatever.
Yeah, you can
right?
still kind of do like your majesty or whatever.
It's an
Yeah,
honorific.
but like, there's a lot of people who are knighted that they don't get that treatment. It's like it is a respect thing, but it's like a completely optional respect thing, which makes it kind of arbitrary. So it always just turns out it's a little bit weird to me.
I guess I've always been raised. If there's few actors that I've been raised to kind of talk to them like address them like that. One of them being Sir Roger Moore. Oh, for fuck's sake, guy who played Gandalf. Why am I blanking? Sir Ian Mckellen.
Sir Ian McKellen. Yeah, I was about to say, like, I was kind of ruined on that because of Sir Ian McKellen, because of that fucking scene where he's explaining acting.
Oh yeah, Sir Ian. You cannot pass. Sir Ian.
You cannot pass. Cut. Ian.
And then Michael Caine is knighted as well, and people don't. Wait, is he?
Is he?
I don't know.
I genuinely don't know.
I would just assume all
I'd be
old British
surprised if he
people
wasn't.
are just knighted.
Sir Michael Caine, CBE.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, people don't do it because I think it just worms its way into pop culture as part of their name. So people are just so used to hearing Sir Ian McKellen that they just say it as if that's his whole name. Whereas Michael Caine, people just call him Michael Caine. And that's what I was talking about when I said that it just comes across as completely arbitrary.
Right. Well, so we had to just normalize my voice. We had I almost said Ian McKellen. He was not in this movie. We had Richard E. Grant as the doctor character before Van Helsing comes in. We had the guy who played Wesley in Princess Bride. It was a very star-studded cast for such a weirdly shit movie.
It was Francis Ford Coppola. I mean, his name has a lot of pull. Also, he's adapting like a classic novel, so there's a lot of prestige there. And this was like a big thing, like in the late '80s, early '90s. Every studio would still like do their prestige movies every year. on top of like their blockbusters. So they were movies that weren't expected to make a lot of money, but they were expected to be like Oscar bait or give actors a chance to like go for just big air and make names for themselves as really good actors and that kind of thing.
So to quickly explain something that's on screen, we were watching the movie and
this is going to be a weird thing to try to explain.
Yeah, I'm going to try to explain it anyway.
I'm waiting to hear how you even lay this out because
here we go.
Jesus.
They're trying to explain how they killed some like the main character lady played by Winona Ryder, or is it
Winona?
Okay.
Winona Ryder.
Jack.
Chick who's fucking drugged out of her mind on the stage of the Oscars.
Oh, is that where that twitching gif comes from, where she's just like throwing her head back and forth as somebody's saying something stupid?
Well, somebody's also saying something stupid, so it's a little bit of her might be like high out of her mind, but then what the fuck this guy's saying?
So
because there's a moment where she like looks at the paper he's like reading. She's like, what?
So out of context, this will just look stupid, but the best out of context thing actually was when we showed Ninja this, because he stepped out without us not even noticing. So they're describing like how like this whole scene happens. They cut off this bitch's head, but it cuts back to him, Keanu, and Winona Ryder all like in like a restaurant or something. What happened to my friend? And Anthony Hopkins just goes, well, and then it just shows this image of all four of them just around this lady's head.
It's hard to explain.
It's timed like it's a fucking comedy. I'll just say that.
It's hard to explain without actually having seen it. But like, it's timed like a fucking like you said, a comedy. It's like more of like a parody almost, which is really strange. Well, it's kind of hard to say anything strange for this fucking movie, but it's weirdly toned for like what was going on at the time. And like,
it's a very over the top, very dramatic kind of movie. And then they just have this one like naked gun moment.
Well, no. What I was gonna say is like the whole movie is like this dramatic thing, and then like Anthony Hopkins is just like he just like drunkenly came out of a fucking bar and he's like, fuck it, I'm Van Helsing.
I mean, that is kind of the character though.
Like,
that's Van Helsing.
Yeah, is it? I don't know, but yeah.
He's described as like the philosopher physician. And it's like he deals with all this like ooky spooky shit. It's like even the American guy, he's like, sounds like a witch doctor to me. It's like, yeah, that's how people see him. They see him as like a fucking kook, a weirdo, someone who just literally cannot grasp social cues. He's like a hyper autist vampire hunter.
I was going to say, so I'd relate to this man quite a lot.
But he's like incredibly weird and obnoxious, and people don't quite like him, but he fucking gets the job done, so he can say whatever the fuck he wants.
So when we saw that, I immediately clipped it, hence why we just had that picture in general. I sent that to Slur saying, could you just immediately just make a meme as fast as possible? Less than a minute later, we had this.
I want to point out that Slur almost killed me. I legit couldn't breathe for like a good minute.
And he made this that I now have on screen. Me and the boys when vampire hunting, and that just killed us for a good.
Oh my god, dude!
Moment.
Like, it's still like this puts a smile on my face. I love it.
God damn it!
The quickness though of Slur cannot be understated. He might be the fastest memer in the West. It's insane.
Like as he posted it, he went fastest shit poster in the West.
It's great. It's fucking awesome. I fucking love you, Slur. I love everything that you do. Don't ever stop.
Can't stop.
Eventually, we're gonna have a YARP memes, but it's just gonna be the memes we've created.
It's just that's what it's really about.
And like before we move on, I just want to point out another fucking thing about Dracula, where like there's a moment where like the three so it's Anthony Hopkins and Winona Ryder, like they're by themselves, like because they're trying to use Winona Ryder as bait because Dracula wants her, and Dracula's brides try to attack him, but he winds up pushing them back. And out of retaliation for him pushing them back, they kill his horses, and he's really upset about that. Cut to him walking into a room with a fucking golden Ninja, help me out. What was it called?
It was a kukri.
Kukri. He just walks into a room and the golden kukri, just fucking with malicious intent. He's just power walking, sees these 3 chicks, bop, like it cuts away from him, and chop, 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 and he just like walks to a fucking ledge and says, "Fucking," like, I don't remember what he says, but in my head he just says, "Fuck off," and he throws off 3 other heads off a fucking like cliff. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
like I said,
he is not the one to fuck with.
The editing in this movie is fucking top notch and horrible at the same time.
There's 2 versions of Van Helsing like that are now like in my mind the definitive versions of the character. It's Hugh Jackman and then now Anthony Hopkins. Then when somebody says, "What do you think?" when somebody says Van Helsing, it's gonna be a tie between those 2. By the way, he temporarily like disables Winona Ryder being a vampire by just pressing a silver coin into her fucking forehead.
I think it's a communion wafer. I'm not sure.
I thought you eat
it
those.
Looked like it, dude. It looked like a wafer. That's like the weirdest part of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a communion wafer because power of Jesus and all that.
Yeah, power of Jesus and all that. But yeah, I know it burned. But
yeah, it burned to fucking like circle onto her forehead, and she just has it until she gets cured of the vampirism.
It didn't burn a circle; it burned like a half circle. So it
was
like
a yin-yang symbol.
It was like a realistic press. Like if you put your thumb like on a coin on somebody's head, that's what it would have been indented. That's like the weird thing. It wasn't perfectly burnt. It was like partially, and it was kind of hilarious.
That's good detail, although it did look
it's a good detail.
There's funny.
Yeah.
Baller in the chat is, like, I'm assuming next week you guys will do Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. We're not going to tell you what we're doing next week.
I've been trying to get them to watch that for fucking ages. I want
to watch that. And then I want to watch the shitty Asylum knockoff, Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies.
What?
Dude, Asylum is like one of my favorite movie studios because they just put out bullshit like one after the other.
I've listened to YMS talk about them. They seem like they're shit parodies, but they're not even worth laughing at. Or at the very least, from what he's described them, they're not worth laughing at.
Some are like Octopus. Fucking what was it? Sharktopus versus Pterodactyl or some shit. I don't remember. That shit was fucking dumb as hell. Anyway. Moving on from that,
the only thing I've seen from an Asylum movie has that to be Sharknado 2. A shark is doing something, and then Jared from Subway goes, "You really should eat fresh." It's just like, what the fuck is this movie?
Oh, Jared's in that movie? Oh no, how unfortunate. Anyway, moving on. So what we actually were planning on talking about.
We already tried doing that, and I was asking these 2 over here. Which of the 2 movies they preferred? So now on to you, Max. Which of the 2 did you prefer? I think.
And you're not allowed to say Dracula.
we're just holding you down.
No, like legit. I don't think I'll ever watch that movie again. Like I kind of hate it, like because of all the fucking stupid editing. But I love editing. It. Oh my god, it's weird. Like I have a fucking. I'm never gonna watch the movie again. But whatever. As for these 2. Texas Chainsaw made me more uncomfortable. So I guess that gets it the win. Because the whole point is a horror movie, right? It's supposed to fucking fuck you up, right? That's the whole point of the story.
It's not just how much of a horror movie it is or how much does it succeed as a horror. It's just which is the better movie. It's like one can be more scary, but if it's completely shit otherwise, and you hate the characters, you didn't like the story, you didn't like the plot, all of that, then the fact that it scared you more isn't automatically better. That's the problem people run into with
Bly Manor,
Insidious and Conjuring and all that. They think that because it has more jump scares, that means it's more scary. And because it's more scary, it's more of a horror. Ipso facto, therefore, it's a good horror, even though they're absolutely shit movies.
It's why we meme on what the public thinks on, or at the very least, the EFAP meme of what the general audience thinks of Bly Manor.
What do you think about Bly Manor, Wyatt?
I have not seen it. That's why I was referring to the EFAP meme.
Like I said, we haven't seen it, so we're just gonna have to go off what we watched.
Well, two of these people have. That's why I was trying to.
And that's why I was trying to bring it off because 2 of us haven't. So let's just talk about what we did watch. And honestly, like I said, they both have weird pacing issues, not gonna lie. Like,
In
God
what way?
damn it. So, specifically in Hellraiser, I guess we are talking about the movies, right? Just
Yeah,
fucking jump
go for
around.
it.
Yeah.
There's the fucking part where the chick is in the hospital.
I'll be right back.
Kirsty, I think her name was. She's in the hospital. She figures out the puzzle box. The door opens, and she starts going down that long hallway. And then the monster starts chasing her down the long hallway, and it felt like that scene could have been cut in half. Like, the song felt like it looped because she was like running for so long, and we just kept getting shots of this like monster. Admittedly, the monster was pretty, scary looking, and that's kind of the whole point, is like showing how dreadful this thing is and how she's like running from it. But like, it just felt like it lasted too long. And then, of course, that monster also has this similar issue later in the movie too. But yeah.
Yeah,
And
I would honestly cut that monster thing completely from the movie. I think it adds nothing and detracts a lot. Nobody
Yeah.
knows what it is, what it has to do with anything. It's just a weird, ooky, spooky thing from the spooky dimension.
Mhm.
It's like if she
And
walked into like a torture room where just a Cenobite unrelated to the main ones was just going to town on some poor fucker, that would have been more effective, more scary, and would tie into what they are much better.
yeah, because it's implied that like
mm,
that thing is like not even like part of the Cenobite gang, because like the gang is
no,
like those 4 dudes.
we don't actually know what it is. I think it's just like a random demon thing.
It's just the
Oh,
thing.
I straight up.
Demons to some, angels to others.
others.
Hold on. I straight up.
The God wet thing kind of fucking gave me chills. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Hold on for a second. I
Jesus,
straight up thought that thing was a Cenobite. Is it not?
Well, when I was younger, I thought it was like a flesh golem thing, like it was made out of people, but you get a really good look at it in this movie. And this is probably the thing. We're seeing a movie from 87, I think, in like modern times HD.
Yeah,
so
but like
the fact that it looks like rubbery and you can see very clearly what it is doesn't do it any favors.
It's still pretty fucking freaky looking though.
I was going to say,
it's freaky looking.
It still
it
handles
really
that issue. Yeah, but it doesn't add
like, the
anything.
Cenobites are freaky looking, but they're freaky looking in a way that ties into what they are. It's like the horror of seeing like the way their skin is pulled apart and all the torture devices are implanted in them. That's scary because it tells you something.
Yeah.
It tells you the way in which they're
and
fucked
like
up.
also to counter what you said, Wyatt, about it being a Cenobite, because it doesn't hang out with the Cenobites. It's clearly like not sentient, not fucking like intelligent. Whereas the Cenobites, they're all fucking like they're all. Well, I mean, I don't know. That whole ending bit's kind of weird. But like,
well, that's why I was almost going to ask like almost what counts as a Cenobite. Like, is it like, do you have to?
I guess
officially, I think it's the torturers of hell. So when he describes what they are, it's like, we are explorers of the outer regions of experience. Those are Cenobites. The torturers, the masters of that realm. They are Cenobites. So it's not just like any random thing that lives in that dimension. It's
so what was
them. That's what they are. That's their role.
So what was that thing, and what was Dragon Guy?
We don't know.
Yeah, oh fuck, I forgot about Dragon Guy.
Yeah, we have no fucking idea what those are, what those meant. We don't even know what to do with that information that they exist.
Once again, I feel like you could have cut out Dragon Boy, like not have his scenes, like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, he eats the bugs, and oh, he's chasing Kirsty, but he just wants the box, even though she didn't have it.
Well, yeah, it's like
most
if
of the
he
movie
wanted the
fucking
box,
have the
like
thing.
if he was just some other like degenerate hedonist who wanted the box for the same reason that Frank wanted the box, that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he's a random homeless bone dragon.
Here's the thing. I don't know which one I like better, because like they both have very similar issues where it's like they could have ended here as opposed to what they kept doing, and they could have ended a little bit better as opposed to what they kind of did. But
I think that Hellraiser could have ended a lot better, whereas Texas could have ended like marginally better. It's like I would completely redo the ending of Hellraiser. I would tweak and alter the ending of Chainsaw.
I guess, yeah. Okay, yeah. You know what? Okay, that's fair. Because like, there is like 2 or 3 dumb things with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre ending, but yeah, there's a couple fucking dumb things with like Hellraiser. It's like
I think
like I remember specifically trying not to laugh at the part where they're like, "We want who did this," and she's like, "No, close the door," and it's like, "Wait, what are they doing?"
Oh yeah, Ninja, you made a jab at the.
Oh yeah, I
signs
did.
comparison.
After you left, I was like, a lot of people give shit to the fucking aliens signs, having trouble with wooden doors, but them Cenobites, man.
Yeah, we want who did this. No, close this door. She's gonna come back, right?
Like, well, fuck.
I just still picture them just standing there. We're like, should we follow her?
I mean, they weren't really chasing her. They were
talk?
more just giving an instruction. It's like, we want who did this. Like, no. And she runs away. It's like, well, I mean, we told her what we wanted. Whether she does it, it's like, that's up to her. Because if she doesn't, we're going to drag her back to hell, I guess.
Yeah, but like the weird implication is that they helped her get out of the hospital without anybody seeing her.
Wait, is that implied?
Yeah, because nobody sees
she just ran away.
No, she got out of a locked door, and nobody saw her leave.
I think that might just be a hole then.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't know what you would pull from like the Cenobites. Cenobites don't help people. But the thing is,
yeah, but the thing is, she was going to go tell them, like, she was going to help them find the guy who escaped. So they're like, "Oh, fuck it, we'll let you out," and shit like that. That's what I got from the implication of the movie, because it's not stated. But how does she break out of a locked door and nobody saw her leave? So it's like, oh, magic, because fucking Cenobites are fucking magic. So they helped her get out. That's what I thought. And then they're just chilling in the room. So I was like, it's a little weird. Like, it's strange, but like I said, that's what I got from my viewing of the movie. I could be totally wrong, but like, do you think that's a bad like reading of what happened?
Not necessarily. I think it's just, like I said, I wouldn't take away that the Cenobites helped her. I'd say that it's more reasonable to assume she just figured it out. Because assuming that a Cenobite would help someone is like directly contrary to everything they are.
They did kind of save her. Well, they didn't save her. They just grabbed the guy.
Okay, no. See, they were trying to like get the person they wanted and then get her as a bonus because she did actually summon them, and that's how that works. Apparently. Until it doesn't, and then she uses the thing to zap away, and then you get fucking the main one was like, "No, don't do that.
That's bad. I don't wanna."
Hey, quit it.
Help! Stop! I'm a virgin.
That is like the exact opposite of cash money. What you're doing?
That's not very cash money of you.
She tried to say go to hell, but it took her like she stumbled halfway through. Said go to hell.
Yeah.
To be fair, she was kind of being attacked, so it's just like
she was kind of being attacked by fucking like otherworldly monsters. So
yeah, so she needed a moment to like, all right, like I was halfway through, then you interrupted me. Go to hell.
God, that fucking puzzle box is so stupid too. Oh man. So yeah, I guess Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a little better, even though I didn't really like some of the pacing things with like them in the car.
I think I'm in agreement with you, Max, especially on that ending, because that ending, like, that actually is the reason, like, I think subjectively I prefer Hellraiser, because, I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like the ending is way stupider in Hellraiser.
Yes, the ending is way more stupid, but at least it kind of didn't slow to a crawl. Like that. That's why I'm saying subjective. Like, I don't
know if it's slow to a crawl, but like I said it. I don't know if you heard me or not because the fucking chick's screaming. But I was like, okay, this is just torture porn at this point.
Yeah, I heard you when you said
like,
that.
It was just like it's really uncomfortable how long they hold on her, like freaking the fuck out. Like, you know what I mean?
Out, and then
that is kind
like
of the
dropping
intention.
the hammer.
That is the intention.
Uncomfortable, but it's uncomfortable in
how long.
I think the wrong kind of way.
Yeah. It's like, all right, dude, we get it. This is your fucking fetish. Let's move. Let's fucking end it. And that's why the proposal ending of that is just ending it right there.
Yeah, when it's focusing like super close on her eye, I would agree.
Yeah, and then fucking end it right there. And it's like, oh fuck, because they fucking didn't they say she dies in the fucking opening title crawl?
No.
She says that like this is the story of the tragedy blah 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 that affected 5 youths, particularly Sally and her invalid brother.
Yeah. Invalid. Sorry, it's weird hearing.
You can't say that anymore.
It's very progressive, you know.
I think
Big Artard in the fucking wheelchair. Yeah, sure.
Of the
Dude, it bothered me how much he said his own sister's name every fucking sentence. Sally, but Sally. It's like, oh my god, dude, nobody talks like that.
There was a really neat detail though. They had bed sores on his forearms. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I saw that.
That was
they hired an actual invalid.
No, apparently. Yeah, that was like it was actually kind of fucked up and like a nice like it's fucked up, but it's a nice touch cinema whatever fucking movie. Yeah, so I'd probably have to say the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Fucking gore and goddamn fucking Hellraiser was pretty uncomfortable. Like not gonna lie.
When you see what like the Cenobites do, when you actually get to see them go to work, that shit is fucking brutal.
It's not even like the Cenobites. Like it's just like the fucking guy coming out of the ground. Like that shit's
and everything looks
his summoning scene.
Yeah,
I fucking love that sequence.
I know, like I'm not hating on it. I mean, I'm hating on it because I hate it, but like I respect what it is. That was a really fucked looking scene. It's cool.
And they made something as minor as a fucking nail, like, dragging against your skin. Like, they made that look fucking brutal.
Well,
I remember when, like, the first time I saw this movie, I watched it on, like, my laptop, like, a much smaller screen, and I think I was watching it in, like, 480p or something. So, to me, when you see the hooks going into all the skin, it's like, I was seeing the skin in, like, a lower resolution, so it looked a lot more real. It looked a lot more convincing. So, it's like, that shit.
I guess I let myself just get sapped into movies. Like, even though I looked at it, so I was like looking fake. Like, I still get like what they're implying. Is like, oh yeah,
it still looks good. I think it's just I'm watching it again, so I'm just seeing it even more clearly.
Fair enough.
Where it does look really good. Like whatever fake stuff they have for the skin for those scenes, it includes things like hair fibers and pores and shit like that. So it does look like skin.
It does look like skin,
and it bunches up and pinches like it's got some thickness to it. So
I guess to me it was really weird with the dad character, not Frank, like the dad character, Larry. For those who don't know, Larry is played by the same actor that would later, that plays Garrick in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. It was really weird seeing him get hooked by all the fish hooks and then go Jesus wept and then think that guy's gonna get covered in even more makeup and then flirt with a doctor. This is really fucking weird.
Yeah.
When you recognize just actors from a completely like separate genre that like you couldn't even remotely see them in a horror movie, you're like, huh, it's a bit jarring.
Yeah. I'm really curious how they made that scene of the thing, because what it looked of the summoning of him for the first time, it really. But it looked like stop motion in reverse. That was the thing that was weirding me out, because it looked like
some of it would be, some of it wouldn't.
Yeah,
so
like
his hands like first emerging out of the wood, grabbing it, and like then you see his brain assembles. That's normal stop motion, and then it's like when you see his flesh is like crawling onto his skull, like assembling. I think that would be either reverse or. It's just adding more and more.
Yeah, like it looked like they were melting it and then they reversed the footage. I thought it was really trippy because like I noticed it like immediately, but then I was like, oh, that's a really cool trick. Like, because thinking about like when did this fucking movie come out? Oh, 1982. Oh,
87.
Wait, what was it? 87?
Yeah. Bram Stoker's Dracula was
92. I'm getting my fucking things mixed up. But yeah, no, that was a really cool fact. I really like that. Like I said, it fucking disgusted me and freaked me out, but I respect what they did.
The well scene, but everybody's a Cenobite. Well, Anthony Hopkins is Pinhead.
You know what else was like weirdly convincing? What? It's like when he absorbs the first dude, and he's just standing there with like muscles and like the first like beginnings of some skin, but he's still got like his fucking ribs, and it looks like his fucking organs are exposed.
Yeah,
it's like being able to have that over his like regular body, but have it be convincing. It's like that's Ooh,
Yeah, that was a nice touch too, especially like when you first see him, like when he's talking to her, like you can clearly tell that's like a mask, but like it does look like something that would be like an actual like face almost.
Watching every stage of Frank like become Detroit becoming human, was really interesting, especially like at the last stage when he puts on Larry's skin. And when Chrissy just like kind of pushes him away, accidentally like rips the skin on like his cheek, like showing that it's like, oh, that skin's on there, but it's almost held together onto him like by Scotch tape. Hence why you could see like the blood around his hairline.
Which was strange to me because I thought he was like absorbing like just blood and shit to like get his old body back, but whatever. Like that's something that was kind of strange to me.
Also,
apparently
it's weird that
growing
she
his
doesn't
skin
notice.
back would take.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too.
But, okay, that's a thing people keep saying, and it's like,
yeah,
and they say it's like for the first scene when she comes home and she's all fucking traumatized because she's just met the Cenobites. And she was only in the hospital in the first place because her uncle tried to rape her. She comes in, she sees her dad. He's got like a bit of blood around his forehead, but like he's acting fine. He's acting concerned. He's asking about her. He's talking to Frank and all that. And it's like a very short conversation. And people keep going. It's like, oh, come on. How can she not immediately see and or assume that this is clearly her uncle wearing her dad's skin as a suit? Like, why would you assume that?
I'll pull up a picture. Like it might not. It just flat on my.
It's not even necessarily piecing all of those different pieces together. It's that she should think something is.
I mean,
like she's literally looking at her dad. She knows what her dad looks like, and this is not.
It's
like,
also
at the least she would be like, "Are you okay? You look hurt. What happened?"
Yeah, because it's not that there's blood on the. It's not.
She's also recovering from what she was dealing with, though, so I can understand her like wanting a little bit of sanctuary. You know what I mean?
Well,
but
it's not.
Remember that in that conversation, who she assumes is her dad is telling her that he just killed Frank, and oh Jesus, what an ordeal! So she could reasonably assume that that's where the blood came from, like he was hit in the head.
Yeah. Well, it's more that there's just blood, though. I'm trying to pull up the picture. It looks like the skin of his forehead looks like it's all gooped on.
I don't know. It looks like he just like tried to wipe all the blood off because he just got into a fucking fight. And,
yeah, it's mainly just like bloody and messy, like around his hairline.
That's why I'm quickly pulling the movie up.
Yeah, but like, so I don't really see that being an issue. And like, yeah, she starts picking up on the signs relatively quickly, literally considering everything she's going through.
Well, the thing that sets it off the most is the "come to daddy," which was what Frank said before.
It was something before that. Something before that like set her off because she was literally leaving the house.
That was the final thing.
Yeah, but it wasn't what set her off though. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, okay, the sequence of events is she goes home. Who she thinks is her dad, like, tries to comfort her, tells her that Frank is dead, and she responds like, "I need to see the body. I need to see the body." And like that's her first priority because, by the by, there are fucking demons chasing me. So she goes up, she sees the body, and the Cenobites are already there. It's like, we want the one who did this. And she's like, no, you can't have the one who did that. That's my dad. And as she goes downstairs and sees Frank in her dad's skin again, that's when it clicks, which is about the time I think that it should click.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a problem with that. And there's another criticism that I saw come up over and over. Sorry?
They start talking weird, too. Like, we need to leave, we need to go. And he's like, no.
Yeah, very strange.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there was another criticism I saw come up over and over. And that's that at the very beginning of the movie, that they shouldn't have bought a house that looked this run down. Now, can you just pick up immediately on what's wrong with that criticism?
The idea of why would somebody buy a home that's as run down as that?
Wasn't it their home?
It was
exactly.
It was.
They didn't buy it, and fucking Roger Ebert and a bunch of other like pretty big critics kept making this fucking mistake. It's like almost making a joke as like they buy this house even though it's like it's run down, it's got rotten food in it. It's like this is so unreasonable. Clearly, they're just making it spooky for the sake of being spooky. It's like, were you not paying a fucking attention?
Like I was kind of doing some personal issues towards the beginning of the movie, so I kind of missed some of the details. But even I caught that, and I was like, "Oh, this is their house."
But yeah, because Julia asks explicitly what the fuck is up. It's like, oh yeah, we tried selling it a few times, but Frank never would let us. And we pick up just by looking around the place that he was clearly just using it as a fucking hovel to sleep in when he wanted to lay low or, you know, not be caught when he clearly did some crimes.
So this is a picture of Frank's Larry face. I'm just gonna call it that. His the skin suit. What I was more talking about was the fact that if you look at like his hairline, it looks like it's all gooped on as if like it was.
So this could be an issue. As I say, this could just be an issue with the fucking like the time of the movie, but like literally, it just looks like he got into a fight and like he just wiped the blood from his face, but didn't get all the shit in his hair.
Yeah, he looks like he's been through some shit, and that blank gets filled in when he says that he killed Frank and what an ordeal it was. Like, just through implication, that fills in that blank. So, if you, like Kirsty, have some other priorities to deal with, you're probably not going to keep prodding to find out if this is another man wearing somebody else's fucking skin.
Yeah.
And this kept coming up as well. People keep going, it's like, oh, come on, how the fuck does she not notice? It's like, dude, it's obvious to us because we know that it happened.
Yeah, of course it's obvious to us. It's like a super obvious. I'm kind of mad they kind of try to pull the wool over our eyes. It makes sense that the character wouldn't recognize it.
So to the audience, this is what we're looking at. Just this picture.
Tell us in the comments. What do you think? Do you think this looks like a guy wearing a skin suit, or does this look like a guy who just got into a fight and just wiped his face off? Let us know. 515 rock, 515 roll.
I mean, if you're going to criticize anything, then wouldn't you criticize, like, she goes up and Larry with no skin looks considerably worse than Frank did, like, skinless but with suit on. It's like, he's a fucking mess. He's a skeleton and a pile of pulp. So really, the thing she should be thinking is, Jesus Christ, my dad is a savage. Holy shit, what did he do to him? Took his clothes off and everything.
Like, oh yeah, that's right, because Frank, even while just being a meat suit, he was wearing like a full suit, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he didn't care that he got it stained. He just wanted to wear it, which I get, Yeah. I don't have skin. Please, for the love of Christ, let me have some dignity.
Well, he also said his nerves were turning back on. So he's like, oh shit, that means he's probably feeling like the cold of that. It wasn't the attic. It was of that room.
It was.
You ever try to put clothes on a wound? That shit kind of sucks too.
Yeah. It's like, you better hope that's like some fucking going with that one, but cotton.
Either way sucks dick.
Yeah, both methods suck, and I think he just might be used to the pain. So the clothes might be the better alternative.
Yeah, he wants to look dapper.
Some things just have to be endured, and that's what makes the pleasure so sweet.
I will say, in terms of quotable lines, I can't think of any lines from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and we saw it yesterday. Meanwhile, no tears, please. It's Sally! A waste of good suffering. Oh, other than that,
it's Sally and Larry. Suffering. Those are the two quotes. Those are mine. Those are my favorites.
I will give Texas Chainsaw Massacre this compliment of, man, the body count, it just starts and it's like abrupt, and I actually really enjoy that. Yeah,
for having a very small hero group, they get bodied really fucking quickly.
Yeah, so it's almost in the 45-minute mark, probably like the hour mark, where they find the house where Leatherface is hanging out at. They go inside for a little bit, or one at a time they kind of do, and right as they get to, I'm trying to remember the first guy's name, not the one with the glasses, they were trying to go to the swimming hole.
You can just call him victim number one.
Victim number one, just goes to the door, and then Leatherface literally just pops up from the door, from like the
hammers that the
doorway, and then just
and there's no music, there's no like sharp violin. It's like din bullshit. It's literally just man comes out, sound of hammer on skull, and then sound of body hitting floor, and that's it.
No slow motion, nothing like of him creeping up behind him. It's fucking there, and it's over.
Oh, and then the juddering of the first victim's body because he was just smashing his fucking skull, and his synapses were still going.
In fact, that brings up like the one line one quotable line I do remember, and that's from the hitchhiker guy when he was in the van. Sledge is best. They die better that way.
Mm. The whole scene made me uncomfortable.
Like, I do like that once he made them uncomfortable enough, they actually did just fucking chuck him out of the van. It's like, fuck this. No, get out.
And yeah, like I think it was Ninja who said it's like, yeah, we found that shit out back then. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's fair. And it's one of those weird things where it's like, are these tropes if this is where they started, you know?
Don't you know all tropes are bad? Especially fridging.
I don't have the context for that. I have to fucking watch it later.
It's in the latest EFAP thing. They started talking about like the difference between tropes and cliches.
What's fridging?
It's specifically killing a female character that's barely an actual character.
Yeah, we watched some fridging in Texas Chainsaw because
he puts her in the fridge. We saw a bitch get fridged.
Yeah, she got pushed in the fridge. And when she's trying to get out, he's like, "Get the fuck back in the fridge, bitch."
I wonder if she would actually refer to that as fridging. She probably would.
Probably would. Like I couldn't fucking tell you.
But like to give you an example of what the trope
besides one had a nice ass
to mean, it's how you start off a Disney movie and they have parents so perfect they must surely die, and that's the only reason they exist is to die and kick off the plot. That's what fridging generally refers to.
I was going to refer to what started it. Well, not what started it.
The most famous nobody fucking knows that thing. It's a reference that nobody picks up on. That's kind of what annoys me about it.
About the Kyle Rayner thing?
Yeah, it's like very few people know that comic, whereas something like Disney Parents, everybody knows that trope.
Yeah, I feel like
it's just a much more accessible point of reference.
Yeah, Disney Parents would be a more approachable use of that than the fridging, because very few people by this point have read that Green Lantern comic.
But you see, if you make it like Disney Parents, it comes across as a lot less gendered, whereas the origins of the whole fridging thing and why it was called that, it was more to do with like women and girlfriend characters specifically.
Yeah.
Whereas like the actual trope and the description of it evolved over time to mean more than that.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. What else do we have? I kind of lost the train of thought for a split second. Oh yeah, we were talking about the abruptness. We kind of pointed out. I think you pointed out the chainsaw 0 to 100 when Franklin fucking bit the dust.
Yeah, like there's a moment, like I said, I was dealing with some shit like during our viewing of it, and I apologize if I missed details, but like there was a moment where like I feel like he says, "Wait a second, I hear something," because it's all quiet, and then it just cuts to chainsaw in his face, cutting him in half. It's like, oh. That's not how that works. Pull that up in the movie. See if that's the fucking actual time frame of that. Because I'm actually kind of curious now. Because, like I said, I don't know if I'm gaslighting myself, and it's like, was it actually longer or not? But yeah, no, like it takes a fucking second to fire up a chainsaw, dude. Like,
let me change windows with
kind of the deal.
Because we're current.
I mean, it's basically a lawnmower motor in there, isn't it? They have to fucking pull over and over before you get it going.
Yeah, because it's what it is. You have to fucking kickstart. I forgot what the fucking name of it is. I think it actually is a kickstart engine or something like that. I'm not a mechanical person. I've just been around a lot of chainsaws and I've been around a lot of tree jobs. And yeah, motherfuckers don't instantly start a chainsaw every fucking time. Like, I'm seeing those motherfuckers touching the choke, fucking re-pulling the fucking cord, pulling the choke back again. You know what I mean? It doesn't fucking fire up. And these are newer chainsaws.
I was going to say, not ones that have been used to cut up several people.
Well, no, that's not even the issue. It's just
even just chainsaws made in 1970 probably
they are not as good as brand new chainsaws like for fucking tree companies nowadays. And the gas mileage on that thing, fuck me.
Well, that's what I was referring to. I was like, not only is it old as shit, it's been very much
yeah,
used.
it's a silencer and an extra clip attachment.
Yeah. Yeah, Ninja, what did you say? It was a fucking solar powered chainsaw or whatever?
Oh, he said no. Oh, he said he had the suppressor.
No, Ninja, you said something. I think you said like electric motor or whatever. Ninja.
Great talk.
Tagging you in here, bud.
He's probably just
I like to imagine Max like was holding out his skeleton hand for Ninja to like tag it, like take it, and just nothing's there.
Yeah, well, yeah, the fact that like so yeah, like if you never fucking worked with a chainsaw, they don't like they're not always they're like it's like an engine. You know what I mean? You have to like hit the throttle to make it go. So he's hitting the throttle the entire fucking time he's running down the thing. And yeah, it's actually kind of interesting that it comes into play later at the end of the movie. But yeah, that fucking thing should have ran out of gas like at least twice over. Because look at how long he was revving it. Because he's revving it the entire time he's chasing her.
Why don't I just look? I just realized I was looking for it manually. I was like, wait a minute. I could just do that.
Why isn't there like a history thing?
I don't. Wouldn't you have like weird subscription? I kind of hate subscriptions within subscriptions. That's
what
always
was the second one? In 1986. Well, the first one was 74.
Oh yeah, second Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
What
86.
is the second one about? Is it about the same fucking deal or what?
I'll read the description.
More about the Hewitt family.
Lefty Enright Dennis Hopper seeks to avenge the murder of his kin by Leatherface, Chop Top, the cook, and Grandpa.
Chop Top was like run over though, wasn't he?
That might be the one where all the cops show up and they basically like attack the house.
Oh, really?
They burn it down and shit. Yeah, they go pretty hard.
Radio DJ,
that's pretty based, actually. I might want to watch that.
Did Evil die that night?
Evil died that night.
Evil dies tonight. Evil. No, they were all chanting it. Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight.
So, Jesus.
But no, he becomes stronger the more he kills. We are the monsters.
Capitalism dies tonight. I mean,
what?
Oh no, his son.
Rush the Capitol. What?
Michael Myers will not replace us. Oh wait, no.
No. Oh no.
No, but what I was joking about yesterday with the chainsaw suppressor is like we need like a clip of Texas Chainsaw, but whenever he like comes out with the chainsaw, instead of the revving, you hear like the little mouse fart gun noise from like James Bond. It's like, pew, 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 pew.
What did you say?
Silencer noise? It's a mouse fart. It sounds like a mouse fart.
What did you say yesterday? Because I brought it up. It's like how.
Oh yeah, the high efficiency, attachment.
Yeah. But you called it like the electric chainsaw or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like,
well, the electric start. Yeah.
Yeah, the electric start. Electric start. That's what it was. Okay. God damn it.
The chain Tesla.
It's so triggering to me because I know what a fucking chainsaw is. It's like it's not.
All right. I'll throw the copyright.
That was his
we'll have
ninja
to.
saw.
Let me throw the.
Please throw the copyright because I'm curious. Because I remember the line being, "Wait, I hear something dead."
Yeah. So the copyright filter is up. We may also have to do a bit of. I'm fiddling with how long this takes.
Yeah.
So
Let's see. Hit play.
He cuts.
Oh, you can kind of hear it. You can kind of hear it in the background, actually.
No, that might be the generator, though.
That might be the generator, though, because they use that a lot. The generator going in the background.
Yeah. Well, hang on. Everybody shut up. Let it play.
Well, yeah, that's why I was saying.
Not my supervisor.
Man,
How you guys doing?
If it was a chainsaw, you would have heard it as you got closer to it.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be, wait, I hear something now.
Yeah, I was just saying, it's literally like he's behind the fucking bush. It's like,
yeah,
they would hear that shit. He's like, I demand
okay,
shrubbery.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
so yeah, okay, I was 100% right. Yeah, he's just stop. I hear something. Ren. Chainsaw go burr.
I love the
I
fact
feel
that
like we're harping on that a lot. It's just because everything else about this movie is so like
it's really well
grounded
done.
and so just
It's
normal
so
and real. So whenever you see something like that, it just stands out so much more.
Like,
I think that's
even,
why
like,
we
some
were
people
giving.
are like, I could probably hear criticisms about like the crazy people like, oh, they seem too crazy. It's like, not really.
I mean, how
you
fucking
live in-
crazy is too fucking crazy? Because I mean, they're
Yeah.
fucking crazy. What do you
They're
want?
fucking
Yeah.
weird, and like that's kind of freaky, and that's why like it was making me uncomfortable when he was in the van. It's like I may or may not have been in like similar situations, and I don't fucking like it. So it's like,
Oh yeah,
dude. Like,
you
like
get public transport in the early hours of the morning from any big
dude.
city. You're gonna meet some dudes who just
Fuck.
talk to them makes you fucking uncomfortable.
Oh, for fuck's sake, yeah.
Fuck, there's not even that. Like, outside of our
Hol-
fucking yard where we park our trucks, there's just this guy who, like, walks to the end of his street and he's just like yelling and fucking like freaking out, but he doesn't like do anything. He just like walks to the end of the street and then walks back to his house. Like, and like his house is on the corner, so he just like literally walks like 10 feet and then walks back. It's like it's fucking weird. We don't know why he does it. He's just so angry and he just gets mad and then he just walks back. And it's like, all right.
For 45 minutes, a homeless person on the bus while I was heading to work one morning said I was the devil, and she could see it in my eyes. I immediately had to stop myself from just going like, all right, just take your fucking crazy pills.
Just leave me alone. Just like, yeah, fuck it off.
Because it was
that's
like
that's why I'm kind of glad the COVID shit happens, because I start coughing when people get it near me because I'm.
Oh no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. At least with the crowd that I had to ride the bus with, because they weren't wearing masks anyway. So they were just like, this guy's the devil. I can see it in his eyes. And I think at one point I did just stop. Like when the bus stopped, I just got off at that point to just wait for the next one. Got myself a sandwich.
You ever have a homeless guy randomly show you a magic trick?
No, because that normally leads to somebody trying to stab me with a shard of glass.
That sounds like the plot.
You would think, right?
I was gonna say that sounds like the plot of Black Phone. Slayer, you all right?
Okay, so basically, what had happened was, it's like me and it's like my girlfriend at the time. We were just like walking home from somewhere, and this guy at the bus, it's like clearly he had a couple of drinks on him. He looked homeless, but like harmless, like he was just chill. But it's like he fucking keels over, and it's like people's like, "Oh shit!" And it's like, and fucking help the guy up. And like he gets us like, "Oh, thanks, man." It's like, "Hey, pick a number between 1 and 10." I'm like, 3. And he's like, "All right." And he just reaches into a pocket and he just pulls out like a raffle ticket like paper thing with just the number 3 on it. And he just starts laughing, and I have no idea what to do with this. So I just kind of like nod along, and he takes it back and he gets on his bus and goes away. I'm like, so that happened?
So you run away because that's a gypsy. You fucking stay away from that person.
Meanwhile, I got chased down by a homeless guy when I was in California because I had a hot dog.
Anyway,
I feel like that needs some context.
We're not touching that one. We're moving on. All right. So
that is all the context I need.
Why we're still on the movie? Can you actually tell me what? Can you actually the first? How long is this movie, by the way? It's 100.
But you were running away. Were you trying to like keep it so all the topics stay on your head?
Okay. How long? When was
just
the
one hand
film?
on the bottom, one hand on the top, like I'm holding like a football. You're never gonna catch me, homeless man.
On that hoe.
Shut the fuck up!
Like, oh no, my onions!
He was in a wheelchair, so I avoided going downhill.
Was it a Chicago?
Wait, hold on. How does someone in a wheelchair chase you?
He was really angry that I had the hospital.
You're being
very
insensitive. Meanwhile,
to
behind you,
Franklin,
some guy's just fucking giving it 90 on the wheels.
Well, no, you put a gas motor on those bitches. They can go
He had a rocket-powered wheelchair.
Not that I've been in one, but like, they're pretty fast.
He's a souped-up wheelchair from like the Need for Speed franchise.
Dude, I have family. I have family who lives in the boonies. Dude, I've seen some weird shit. Can you tell me where the first kill is timeline wise? Because I'm actually kind of curious now. Because it feels sudden, but
let me quickly bring it up. Oh, it's literally.
I think it's about half an hour, 45
it's 30 minutes in the movie. Jesus Christ!
Wow. Yeah, this movie goes at like a pretty breakneck. 35 minutes in. It gets a pretty breakneck pace until personally. The end.
The ending. Well, yeah, like the first 2/3 are pretty breakneck, and then it's just like towards the end, because they wanted to have that thing where they linger on shots to like really let it sink in how horrifying this is for her.
Mhm.
I would argue
it stretches things out, so you've got a lot of shots that maybe don't need to last as long as they could.
I wouldn't say this is the problem part.
I'd argue like the last half hour, pretty much for not.
No, dude, it's when she gets in the house is when this pacing issue.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's when you have like her reacting to the horror of the things she's seeing, like those shots linger longer than they need to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that drags it out longer because it makes it feel like the sequence of events has slowed down.
Yeah. Because compared to the rest of the movie, it's like breakneck. But yeah, this is actually it was actually kind of cool because we all talk about like me seeing these movies for the first time and like spotting the influences. Like when we watched Aliens, Colonial Marines, I was like, oh, this is fucking this is just Halo.
Did not watch that.
Yeah, we didn't watch Aliens, Colonial Marines.
We watched Aliens. Sorry. We watched Aliens, and I saw the Colonial Marines, and they looked exactly like the fucking UNSC from fucking Halo, the first game especially. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. And now seeing this scene, I was like, oh, this is the fucking Resident Evil 7 scene.
I thought it was really weird how they put makeup on Leatherface's, face, but that's because I only knew Leatherface from... I only knew Leatherface from, of course, just pop culture and also seeing him in Mortal Kombat X. So I was like, why did they put makeup on it?
Because he was going to a fucking fancy dinner party.
Yeah, he was
it's for the same reason they put a tux on him.
Sorry, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm so insensitive to the cannibal murderer.
How dare you, man?
You'd be sensitive. He's really sensitive. He's a real sensitive.
You don't know what his fucking pronouns are.
When he hugs women, he doesn't let go.
Yeah. He grabs him from behind, he loves
when he
him.
hugs you from behind.
Yeah, he has some real hang-ups about that.
Fucking meat hook.
Your comedy is quite cutting, sir.
You could almost say it's an electric start chainsaw.
That's a subtle as a few
people.
Meat hammer. Can you cut to the part where like it's like her looking at them from a table. It's like, yeah, this is literally fucking Resident Evil 7 ripped this like straight out. Like the fucking crazy cannibal people going, oh, you don't like food. Like it's weird. Like this fucking Resident Evil 7 is just Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah,
like legit. You have the crazy son, you have the fucking authoritative dad, you have the fucking like the old person sitting at the edge of the table.
Were you expecting the cook to just suddenly cut off the younger person's arm?
Because I was so in Resident Evil 7 mode, I wasn't expecting it. But then like it started getting really uncomfortable, so I was like, oh, okay, this is like.
I mean, yeah, that's what that is inspired by. And speaking of inspiration, remember when I told you that this inspired like pretty directly a Rob Zombie movie?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen House of a Thousand Corpses?
No, because I'm a pussy.
Have you at least heard the song? Because I know you're at least like vaguely familiar with his music.
Yeah, I've heard. I don't think I'd have to listen to the song. I only know a couple of his songs, like off the top of my head, like Super Beast, Dragula, and fucking Living Dead Girl.
Oh, more kind of the hits.
Yeah, I was gonna say like they're more the singles. Well, Super Beast isn't really that much a single, but that was because it was in Twisted Metal 3. Pretty sure he was in Twisted Metal 3 as well. Anyway, I've never seen the movie, and you're saying it was directly inspired by that. I mean, I could kind of see that. Like, isn't it supposed to be like hillbillies, creepy people? Yeah.
Like Rob Zombie likes his horror movies, and it's not the only one. There are actually quite a few movies, and I mentioned this before we watched it, that have it's like almost the same basic plot.
Yeah, because you said
freaky, fucked up cannibal family out in the outback of somewhere in the middle of nowhere, where they'll fucking trap whoever comes in.
Yeah, you said House of a Thousand Corpses, but I feel like there's a more famous example, isn't it? Like something called like
Children of the Corn. Isn't that what children?
No, that's completely different.
They're called like the Hell Gang or whatever. The Hell people. Fucking, I don't remember.
See, I've seen a couple of movies like this, and one that's a lot more like it, and it's a lot more elaborate because the entire house is like the Addams Family mansion, where there are fucking trap doors and weird shit everywhere. Mm-hmm. But I can't remember the name of it because it was just on TV.
The Devil's Rejects. Oh, it was a direct sequel. It was a direct sequel to House of a Thousand Corpses. But yeah, I know the Devil's Rejects more than House of a Thousand Corpses. The Sinister Urge. Oh wait, that's the album.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he made Halloween and Halloween 2, which Ninja, you were saying those weren't actually that bad?
Yeah, his were pretty solid.
I've heard a lot of people give them flack, but since I haven't seen them, I'm like, it's whatever.
I mean, it depends on whether you're invested in the whole supernatural Michael Myers lore. Like, if you thought that was a good idea, then yeah, you'd probably be upset that all that's getting retconned. But
if
apparently it's not. Though,
but if you're like me, who
fear.
just prefers if Michael Myers was a fucking just a person, then that probably sounds like a great movie.
It's kind of like adding supernatural elements to Leatherface when the whole scary thing about them is that they're just these people.
Did they seriously
do this to?
Did they really make him supernatural?
Leatherface?
I think so. I actually haven't watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequels because Jesus Christ, why would I? But
Ninja,
I just got the impression from anything I've picked up that they follow the same general pattern as all of these horror franchises when they just add more and more lore. And I know they've done a lot of explaining Leatherface, which is they keep doing that. It's like the one thing you don't do.
Yeah, well, it's because they want to make him a tragic backstory. And his fucking mom was.
I actually kind of
Dalmatians.
like the newer version of Texas Chainsaw, and they do give him more of a backstory. They do flesh him out a little bit, but I think it was done pretty well.
Really,
and it didn't feel like it took away anything from his character. I guess
they didn't add any like supernatural powers to him, did they?
No, he's just a big motherfucking dude, and they even kind of address that he's basically retarded because of the way
you get
he
that
was
in
born.
this movie. He doesn't actually have a voice. He just kind of babbles like a child.
Yeah, the subtitles didn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, they go into some more depth with like he was literally born like his mom worked at the meat packing plant and her boss was like a massive piece of shit and she was working while she was pregnant and he wouldn't let her leave to have the baby, so she ends up like having the baby right fucking there.
Oh, I thought you were gonna make it. I had to stop myself from going. I had to stop myself from going, and then the husband hit the back of her head against a wall, and that activated the evil clone.
You know,
that activated the evil twin, didn't you know?
Yeah, but no, he's just a big hulking and they even say like he's slow, he's a half-wit, but he's but he's not useless. Big. Like he's big, he's good for stuff. And Arlie Ermy is fucking fantastic in those movies.
So what you're telling me is Leatherface is just Lenny without his moral compass.
Kinda.
Lenny. Larry.
Carl. Anyway.
That was just like of that time, I think. That was just the movies of that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It was a different time.
It was a different time.
We don't speak of it anymore. Sorry, I was just going through Rob Zombie's fucking filmography here, and one of the ones I see, it sounds like the one I want to really watch. It's called Werewolf Women of the SS.
Fuck off.
And I'm like, God damn, that sounds awesome. That sounds radical. And then I clicked on it, and all it was a fake trailer for Grindhouse. It's like, God damn it. Because apparently it starred Nicolas Cage in the trailer. It's like, fuck, now I want to watch that trailer.
So he made a movie that a lot of people haven't heard of called 31. It was actually really good.
What's 31? It about?
It's about a bunch of serial killers. Oh. And it's got the guy who played the evil bastard in that episode of Mandalorian, and he was in Doom.
Oh, Portman.
Yeah, it's got him in it, and he's fucking fantastic.
Can we?
That guy.
Are we gonna?
Fuck yeah, he can probably play a creepy dude.
Ninja, are we gonna
fuck it. We're doing a Rob Zombie arc.
Ninja, are we gonna watch? Are we gonna watch Doom for my birthday again?
No. Never again.
We're gonna watch Doom, fucking whatever the fuck.
I will you guys want to sit down and watch Annihilation on my birthday? No, I will gladly fucking do that.
No. I'll maybe sit down for Doom. I'm not sitting down for Doom Annihilation.
Simplify, motherfucker.
Yeah, because at least the Rock's there.
So the thing I was gonna quickly bring up, I kind of wish like we had time yesterday to watch the reboot, because I almost kind of wish I watched it just for context, to just see if
the differences.
To see the difference between the original.
Hey, if it makes you feel better, there's still gratuitous ass shots.
Oh really? Fucking say less.
But yeah, it's like mid yarp. We just throw it on. All right, let's fucking do this.
All right, let's do this. Fuck it. Thanks, guys. Show us for next week. We'll fucking talk about asses. All right, we're up. No. Like, it's kind of strange because, I mean, Hellraiser apparently is a dead end, but it's crazy watching like all these like horror movies I've never seen, because it's like, as much as I hate gore and I hate fucking scary shit, I'm really interested in like lore and shit like that. So I'm like, I kind of want to watch more of it to see more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really want to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, especially if you say it's like, oh, because a bunch of cops just show up and say, fuck this, and start shooting. It's like, oh, cool.
So the only context of like, so since I haven't seen most of these, the only context of like an EU of a horror franchise I really hate is The Thing, because they made a bunch of sequel comics and they are just ass.
Yeah, but I'm all right. But I'm talking about seeing these movies. I'm talking about seeing these. I'm just talking about these movies, though.
Well, I was about to talk about franchises that just have shit sequels, and it seems like no franchise was really safe from that. Cause,
yeah, but is a comic a sequel? Like, fucking, you're reaching there. But yeah, I'd be curious to watch the rest of these fucking movies. How many Texas Chainsaw movies are there?
It depends on whether you count. Are you separating out the reboots, or do those count?
Well, that is actually it is two different questions. How many movies are there, and how many movies are like in continuity with each other? Because obviously the second one is a direct fucking sequel to this one, and you said it's with the fucking guys. And
and it's the same director, so that would be like the. Like those two would go together. After that, I don't remember if 3 and 4 are part of the same thing or not. Then there was a reboot in 2003.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
There was a sequel to that one. I'm pretty sure it's in the same universe in 2006.
Yeah, it was. I have it on screen, not for the audience.
Okay,
they did Texas Chainsaw 3D. I don't know where that one fits into the filmography. Then there was Leatherface in 2017. I don't remember if I've seen that one or not. And then apparently there's a new one coming out in 2022.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Here we go. It breaks down the chronology. So the original continuity is the first 4 films.
Oh, right here. Yeah.
The Texas Chainsaw 2, Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw 3, and then Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the next generation.
They did. Does it feature Patrick Stewart?
Wait, hang on.
And then they did the Platinum Dunes remake continuity.
Yeah, this is really weird though, looking at this thing. So it's like original continuity. It has the first movie, but the third continuity, Millennium Films, still has the first movie in the continuity.
It's because
that makes sense, because they're basically saying, so Leatherface would have been like a prequel to the one in 1974 is what they're saying. So you'd watch Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw 74, and then Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Okay.
And then the newest one, apparently, for Legendary Films, has the one in 1974 as the baseline, and then the one that comes out in 2022 is going to be the direct sequel to that.
I'm a big advocate right now of stop it, get some help. Let this franchise.
Well, I was about to say, even fucking Scream is getting a goddamn another movie too.
No. New ideas, people.
No franchise is safe, man. They don't pay for new ideas, man. You know how hard it is to get a new idea out there?
I know.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's a really sad thing. Because like, it was crazy, because there was actually a horror movie that I do want to see. Did you guys actually watch the trailer for The Black Phone?
No.
The Black Phone? Yeah, The Black Phone. It's a Blumhouse movie, but it actually looks really fucking good. And I was with two of my homies, because like, it was kind of funny, because like in the thing I was like, oh, if it doesn't play, because we were watching trailers, and I was like, if it doesn't play, you need to watch the fucking trailer for Black Phone. And then sure enough, the fucking next trailer was The Black Phone. And after it's finished, they were like, all right, like, like, you know what I mean? Like, they gave it like a, okay, I like what you're doing here.
They gave it a tomato.
They gave it a tomato. Yeah, these normies gave it a tomato. Well, I mean, they're horror normies, so. But
God,
yeah, like I said, pull it up after we're finished here tonight, because I think you guys might enjoy it too. Because I have no context for it other than the trailer, and I really want to see it. I think it comes out like in fucking 2 weeks too.
Oh, the remake in 2003 was produced by Michael Bay.
Oh. It's weird seeing his name pop up in so much shit. But I mean, man
he
gets
gets
paid.
around.
He gets
Yeah,
around.
he gets
Paid.
around.
It's almost like he has his own production company or something.
Does
That's
he?
crazy. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's actually called Bay Productions, isn't it?
Well, he used to be a part of Platinum Dune, and now he has Bay Productions or Bay Films or whatever.
MichaelBay.com. Yes, so actually, yeah, of course he'd have his own website.
That makes sense. How many movies has this motherfucker made? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't have to like them, but they're all commercial successes.
All of them?
Most of them.
He must have some that bombed.
I mean, I'm not saying all of them, but like he has a lot of fucking like Bad Boys 2, Armageddon, Pearl Harbor, the I never saw The Island.
Wait, The Island, is that the insurance thing one where they grow clones? Because I saw that one.
I was just reading the fucking things off of the
director. I'm sorry, Robopocalypse. That's apparently
announced. Yeah, that sounds fun.
Transformers.
Robopocalypse. Nice.
Yeah, I guess he's got some losers in here. I don't know what the Venals is. Oh, the Tina Turner. Oh, it's a short. Oh,
Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, Pearl Harbor, Armageddon, those fucking Bad Boys 2. Those movies fucking did not. And fuck it, Transformers like did billions of dollars in fucking China.
Yeah, I would agree with Max. Regardless of quality,
we don't have to like him, but motherfucker made money.
Yeah, regardless of quality, he's made bank.
Doesn't have good movies as well. It's like there are Michael Bay movies I like. It's just, especially around the time Transformers came out, it was always like the meme that this is like the go-to example of shit movies.
I love the fact that Michael Bay made The Rock.
It doesn't even star The Rock. Fucking 0 to 10. The fuck is this?
You heard that dumb Have you heard that dumb theory that Sean Connery's character is just Bond?
Oh,
I mean, it's a fun idea. It obviously has no grounding or doesn't really make sense, but I get why people are just like, could you imagine?
Well, we said everything we need to say. I feel like they've covered a good fucking bit. Like I said,
actually, you brought up those, like, you actually haven't seen a lot of horror up till now, and we've kind of absolutely saturated you with this stuff at this point.
Yeah, you've been.
So, are you still like as squeamish about it as you were before?
I'm gonna be squeamish, but I'm gonna be squeamish, but I just admitted I kind of want to see more.
Yeah, so you're not as like off put of actually watching the movies as you would have been.
Yeah, there's a movie coming out that I kind of want to see with you guys. like it's straight up a fucking horror movie, and that's why I was kind of transitioning out of it. That's pretty much it. If that's all we got, Ninja, you got anything else you want to say about these movies?
No, I mean I don't think either one of them held up super well, but I mean,
would you say they're that bad or just they're not that good?
I can see why they spawned franchises, I guess, but just there's a lot of people that hold these up. It's like, oh god, these are the classics, these are the best, and it's just like, they're fine. Actually, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm trying to remember from like 2 hours of just us talking nonstop. Did we point out as to why exactly Hellraiser's ending kind of fell apart? I think we talked about why
he went over the ending in a bit of detail. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the basic gist was like, goddamn, like just Deus Ex Machina, and then fucking what the fuck happened with the dragon monster, and then like legit the movie should have ended like with them approaching the girl, and then boom.
It would introduce this random, like not even random Deus Ex Machina that if you just reversed the box, the Cenobites went away.
Like I said, and that's stupid. Like
that's not how this works.
Not only is it stupid, it directly contradicts what we were told earlier in the movie about how that even works.
Yeah. Right. It just summons them, and then like he clearly has more control over it because we see that at the beginning of the movie, like Pinhead. But like, yeah.
Once they're done, like ripping him apart and showing him the delights that he summoned them for, whether he changed his mind or not, he then like picks up the box and then takes him back to hell and returns the room to normal. With the implication kind of being that the house has been left somewhat cursed by the summoning ritual. Even though when she summoned them, it didn't do that, I guess, because she didn't have enough candles. And does that mean that the hospital is now cursed?
But then, did any of that happen because the fucking thing looped over and like, was it a second fucking movie? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and in terms of
okay, hang on, we didn't mention the end of the movie.
Yeah, we didn't. That's why I was trying to. That's why I'm trying.
The hobo dragon.
No,
we mentioned the hobo dragon.
No. Past that, where the fucking thing zooms out, fucking Men in Black style, and like we see the movie inside the box, and then it's just the beginning of the movie again.
No, it's not the beginning of the movie. It's the next guy. So when the dragon took the box, and this is why my explanation for the dragon when we're watching is like, it's sort of kind of implied to either be that Asian dude in disguise or he works for him or some shit, because the box returns back to the Asian guy who sold it originally, and he's selling it to another guy. And he's doing the exact same thing he did before. It's like, it's yours. It always was.
So the thing
the guy looks like the guy from the fucking beginning.
Yeah, the guy
at the end. I was like weirded out. Like they couldn't have like a black guy or an Asian dude, but like the fact that it's like a generic white man with brown hair and beard, it's like, is that supposed to be the same fucking guy?
Yeah, it looked almost exactly like Frank.
Weirdo.
I'm like actually gonna look it up now because I'm curious.
I was going to bring up how, I think it was an earlier point made that any scene involving that weird baby creature thing that chased her down the hallway. There's a scene where they're trying to leave. There's a scene where they're like both her and I think his name is Tommy. They're trying
boyfriend.
The boyfriend. They're trying to leave the house, and the baby creature spawns at the doorway. She drops the box. And both of them are trying to get, both her and the creature are trying to grab the box, and it looks like they're having a weird slap fight trying to just grab this fucking box.
And once again, that scene dragged on for like a good minute, and it's like, okay, we get it.
And by like the third dropping of the box, I think Slur just flat out just went, bruh.
I remember.
Yeah.
And it's like, and like I said, all I got was fucking like the YMS like Walking Dead vibes. Like, no, stop. Get on.
Yeah,
no, it.
Yeah, that scene was a minute too long because it's just them just struggling.
So confirmation that it is indeed a different person at the end of the movie.
Okay.
But like I said,
yes, I'm almost certain.
I feel like they should have just had somebody look a little bit different is all. That's my whole...
I would have said just drastically, just to have it just be...
Like I said, have it be a black guy, have it be a fucking Asian dude, have it be somebody, have it fucking be a woman, have it be somebody else.
Yeah.
But like, it looked too much like Frank, and that's what was like confusing to me.
So the only time where I really, with the ending of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, was when they're trying to get the grandpa to hit her with the hammer, and he just keeps dropping it.
That was also took way too long, and like I said, that was like torture pornish, because it's like, this chick is fucking screaming her fucking head off, and it's like...
he misses once or twice, that's tension, and it's like, this is not going to be over quickly or painlessly. But when it gets like the fourth or fifth time, we're just like...
Oh no, he didn't even hit her. Like, that's the thing. They kept trying to put it in his fucking hand, and
he drops it like 8 times.
Like I said, there was a neat factor where it's like he's kind of dropping it in like different ways. He accidentally drops it in the bucket, but it's like, okay, dude, come on, like, fucking get on with it,
Grandpa, please.
Just firmly grasp it.
You got the arthritis.
She's got arthritis.
Yeah,
Grandpa hasn't had his salad a day.
He was like a weird vampire guy too. Yeah, like
the
movie should have ended just like fuck it. Like he's just there. She's at the table and boom. That's it.
Oh yeah, because when she finds him originally, you do think he's a corpse, and then they just wheel him out, and it turns out he's still like alive-ish.
Moving around. Yeah,
and like there's like a weird thing where like if you do like blood transfusions or whatever with younger people to older people, like it makes them revitalize, but
that's literally not true. I don't know why that keeps...
That's not true? Up. Really?
No, it's not. How the fuck would that work?
I'm not sure.
Like, yes, blood overall might be of better quality, but like the cells which are being rejuvenated by the oxygen delivered by your blood are still your cells. Mm-hmm. You still have the exact same body.
Yeah, but I thought it wasn't as like dramatic as like a fucking like vampire thing. Like it just gives you like a year or whatever. Like in like.
Well, yeah, if you're getting a
biologically
blood
speaking.
transfusion in the first place, it's probably because your blood has some
This
problems.
was like
So
fucked up.
yes,
Yeah, you're
getting
right.
a blood
Okay.
transfusion will make you a little bit better, but you're not
Yeah,
being
see,
injected with
I
youth.
guess that's the like fucking reading that I did on my part. Then fair enough.
But it's not just you. That's the thing. It's like I've seen
Yeah,
it
it's
come up
it's
like
it's
times on
actually
it.
yes.
Sometimes it's like the basis of like a plot, similar to the whole like we only use 10% of our brain thing, which is also fucking silly and wrong.
That's
Which is
fucking
also silly,
stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like if you're using it as the basis of like your fucking B movie plot, it's like yeah, fine, I can buy into this premise for that. But people walk away from those movies thinking that that's actually like a fact.
Mhm.
Like, please read a book for fuck's sake. That's not
A
how
book.
bodies work.
All right. Well, like I said, I feel like that's pretty much it. Yeah. Like I said, I wasn't upset at seeing either movie. They do have dumb things, but like, it's not.
They
I
do
don't know.
have dumb things, but I think that Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like narratively, overall, it does hold up pretty fucking well.
Oh, definitely.
It's just got some things that's like the editing would be tightened up if it were made today, but overall, like the actual story and the creep factor and all that, it's still a really fucking good horror movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And Hellraiser, it's like that ending is even worse than I remembered, but most of the rest of the movie I still quite like.
Oh
Yeah.
I love the homeless guy who just like he gets into the fire, he's just on fire for a good minute, picks up the box, then turns into a dragon, then just flies away. No explanation.
Well, I mean, it's not really an explanation needed because he gives it back to the Chinese man who's selling it to another person.
Right, but who was that? The Chinese guy in disguise? Did he work for him? So it's left deliberately mysterious, and that would be fine if we see the homeless guy pick up the box and then it ends up back with the Chinese guy. But they add this whole extra supernatural element where he turns into like an undead dragon thing.
But couldn't that be like a thing that he's also like a Cenobite as well?
Well,
I don't know
that's
how
what
Cenobites
is he?
work.
But that doesn't look like a Cenobite. That doesn't look like any Cenobite we've seen.
Well, that's why I
mean,
think it was
like, it
Ninja. You suggested that you could have changed that scene to just have it be Pinhead, right?
Yeah, just make him transform into Pinhead. So it's like she thought that she was rid of him, and it's like, nope.
Yeah, you can never
Or
be
literally
rid
just
of me.
any Cenobite.
Yeah, any of the Cenobites that we're familiar with.
You,
Not even.
Slur, you really
a Cenobite
hated
we've never seen before. It's just a Cenobite collects the box, which means that this is not over. The lament configuration will continue to find victims, blah, 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 blah.
Well, I mean, that's
Tune
what
in
happens,
next time.
though. That's what I'm saying. What happens? Because the Chinese man's selling it to another person.
Yeah, but it's how we got there that's my issue. It's like
That's fair.
the homeless guy who's just kind of been there turns into a fucking dragon. And it's just like it's not
like I said,
weird in a creepily mysterious way. It's weird in a, it's like, wait, fucking what?
No, yeah, we all burst into laughter, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the homeless guy just turned into a bone dragon.
Yes, he did.
Bone Daddy.
We saw him, we're just like, what's going on, guys? And then he transformed and we all burst into laughter because he just turned into a fucking dragon and then flew away. It's like,
or what you could have done was like the scorpion baby rubber thing that could have like emerged from the ground, ate the box, and like disappeared again, and that could be the explanation as to what the fuck that thing actually is.
Yeah, he's the collector of the box.
Yeah, it's like just something that ties it more together is kind of what I'm going for here.
Gotcha. I remember when we were watching it, Slayer, you really hated it how, I don't think we mentioned it on this episode, you hated how they actually call him Pinhead in the subtitles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The actual subtitles for the version of the movie we watched call him Pinhead. That's not his name. That has never been his name. I think in some of the later movies they call him that as well. I can't quite remember. But yeah, he's not called Pinhead. When the movie came out and everybody saw like the VHS cover of this movie in it's like Blockbuster or Extravision for me, it's like it stands out. It's a really good cover, and Pinhead himself has a really fucking cool design. But people called him Pinhead as a joke. You know, it was kind of, you take this very serious, horrible thing and you kind of disarm it by making a joke out of it. It's not actually his fucking name.
I'm trying.
And Clive Barker famously hated that people kept calling him that.
I'm quickly looking on Steam on the Dead by Daylight page because he's one of the killers now, isn't he?
Yes. And he's called the Cenobite.
He's just called the Cenobite because it's called the Hellraiser Chapter. Do you only play as Pinhead if you get him, or do you get access to all of them?
What do you mean?
How did I jumble? Where did I jumble that sentence up? Because to me that sounded very cool.
Yeah,
what do you mean by all of them? Do you only play as him if you get him, or do you play as all of them? All of who? All of the Cenobites?
It says Hellraiser Chapter, so I immediately thought, do you get all the Cenobites or just Pinhead?
No.
I'm pretty sure they might show up for a fatality. I say they might show up for a fatality, but like
they don't. No, you get the Cenobite. He's not Pinhead. He never has been Pinhead. You get the Cenobite.
Or as he's credited in the movie, lead Cenobite, and that's mostly just because he was the one who could most easily actually.
Well, yeah, and he's the Mayan prince, obviously.
I mean,
what?
Hold on. So this might
just the lore that these movies delve into to try and explain him. It makes your fucking heart hurt. It's
actually like the fact that it's like Mayan actually kind of makes me want to.
No, it's half Mayan. It's a World War I soldier,
and so it's only half
combined with a Mayan prince. To make a Cenobite, and
who's the victim with that pack, by the way? Is it Kirsty?
I'll look in a second, but I think they might have changed it because as I just posted in our Discord chat, he's just called Pinhead.
Oh no.
Oof.
That's actually
no, yeah.
I don't really care about the movie, but that is kind of fucked up. They call
new legendary set Chatterer sold separately.
Oh,
as if they're a fucking. That sounds like they're a toy pack. Other Cenobites sold separately.
Well, I mean, have you seen the game? Like, that's kind of how they are.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I played Dead by Daylight. I think it was
like years ago. Ninja. When you play as the fucking like the Purge guys, don't you have like fucking like? Can't you pick from like one of 4 people?
No, it's more like a costume.
Okay.
So, you get killer perks from the Lament configuration, and then you get charm of the Lament configuration, or the box.
Yeah, I'm asking. I was just asking who the survivor was, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Well, because I don't think this pack comes with a survivor.
They doesn't. I said they pretty much all did though, didn't they?
No, the big bundles do. There are individual killer packs that just have a killer.
Okay. All right, but is that all we need to say?
Guess so.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
We covered pretty much the entire movie.
Yeah, I think
Don't pick up weird, strange boxes, and don't fucking pick up strangers.
Don't pick up hitchhikers.
Don't go outside. Fuck that. Just stay inside and watch movies.
This has been
stay inside and watch Yarp.
Yep.
And when they say pain and pleasure indivisible, they mean mostly pain. Let's be honest.
Well, yeah, just
you are
pain.
Very divisible by chains.